potentially be live from Jackson Hole or not. Shout out to Brendo as well.
See if you can fit it
Randy with the cameo today, Rob for the coffees, and everybody else, and everyone that's watching.
Yes, sir.
And Bears vs. Bulls, of course, who's there every single day, the best in the business. All right, everybody, let's keep on going. It's been a great day, and it's about to get even better, Neil.
Yes, it is.
It's the Midday Madness with these guys. Let's go. I got to use the bathroom.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Added Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl Adara right there in the gray suit. And I guess this is Army Green. I'm Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. Shout out to Mr. Two Pamps, who's always dancing in there. Darwin, the OG. Shout out to him. We got Chase Bands. Who's chasing Bands, ironically enough? MB3 joining us. What's up to Brandon Townsend and Big Asian? What's up, Big Asian? Andrew Chow and Hey Davis, Mateus Lane, Matthew Booth, Jeremy Newman, and Wapadilla. We got covalence. I remember covalent bonds from chemistry class. That's all I remember. Do you remember that, Dare?
I do.
Bob Dubb, we got Peter, we got Fiddlebeck, Vin, Yan, Novak, and Andrew. We got, I'm not reading that out, Ronaldo, we got Lionel Martinez and Mary L, as well as New Mexico. Misfit, okay, that's nice. TH and Yannick, we got Bogzilla, Matthew Booth, Michael Walter, Glenn Smith, USA's in the chat, 1320, Good morning to everybody, and good morning to you, Adair.
Good morning to you, Sharif. How are you doing on this fine, very exciting Wednesday?
It's great. It's nice and cool outside. Some people like that, some people don't. You happen to like it, Neil, not so much. I'm kind of in the middle. Gonna take this, I know, it was too cool. I know, bro. Right now it's a little bit better, though. Got into an Apple trade super quick here. Neil yelled this out, 226. Got touched super quick on the dead one Apple, and I was all eyes and ears. I did take that long, wet my beak there on about 25 pennies, but it is still having trouble breaking back above that 226.50, which is the line in the sand today between green and red for Apple. So we're going to keep eyes on that. Lots to talk about today, Dara. That was a huge market flush, dropping 181 points in about 10 minutes, and that had everybody talking on the floor.
It did have everybody talking on the floor, chit. And then, the market, I actually tried to short the SPY in that. I have thoughts on this. So yesterday, Sharif knows, I literally sat down, I was like, I missed my level in SPY. And Sharif's like, was that 559 by chance? Because Sharif knows what I'm like, and knows what levels I like. Now, as we sit down, we careen violently here, and I say, Dare, take the 559 short if it shows up. I missed the first try. I tried it the second time, ended up getting it at 558.90s. Honestly, for my style of trading, why the heck am I trying to take the retest? There, if you didn't get the breakdown, you didn't get the breakdown. Move on. Where's the next trade? Shout out to Obi. Alas, I did not. I don't know where, to be clear, I took a 20-cent hit on this. This is what I would be, it's, I need to be chill. It's not a huge deal. But then I've been watching the SPY book since, because I'm still getting all my side chart set up for today. And the SPY looking now to bounce here. So if we can come back to that 559.20 area, I have a dip buy. I'll risk into 559s because we don't want to break that level in any kind of salient way. And then I want to see if I can take this here as we push back up into 560s. I still like 559s. I like it on a multi-level time frame. Speaking of multi-level time frames, I apologize to Sharif because I was talking to Zeroff about Meta. Meta. I've been talking about Meta 530 since I was here with Obi last Friday, and I was like, Meta the 530. Blah, blah, blah.
Those are the best ones. It
was a great one. Yeah. And I took a successful short on this on Friday. Well, one of them I got stopped at early. The second one I took on that 530 breakdown. Look where we break out of beautifully here. 530. Look where we're trying to careen down to. Did you say 530? I'm watching 530. Also on a multi-time frame level to me is Mademoiselle Lily. I am really upset because I didn't want to find an excuse to trade her, but here she is. I'll talk more about her in detail later because I have a lot of really specific levels, but Lily on my mind here, Meta on my mind here. My levels on Meta I haven't had come in yet, but Lily, don't be surprised if I hop into a Lily trade during the last set. I will let you guys know once that happens.
And feel free to interrupt, Adara. You know how
apparently there's a super time from the last.
From the last one, I did close it, Fabian. I closed the window. So say it again. You sent it to me. Okay, let's shout that out. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare. He sent it to me right there. There we go. KC Armstrong. Why do I suck? 5K on Apple made 25 cents. Okay, So you're viewing your trading window from the context of one trade. I wouldn't say that should be, that's not how you're going to judge yourself, obviously. Look, dude, I think we just had a big boy drop on the market right now. I think you had something sound. The Katiaman was over $1 in the money on Apple, so I think you had the right idea. Let's not be too hard on ourselves. Remember, I don't know if it's if you invested 5,000 shares or $5,000 worth of shares. I'm really sure here, Katina, man. Yeah. But shout out to Casey Armstrong. Obviously, don't really want you to talk about yourself like that, and that's probably not true. Shout out to you. Let me know how the rest of your day goes, and thank you very much for the super chat. All right, guys, we are talking today about moving average, convergence, divergence, MACD for short. One of the most used indicators on this floor, and I'm willing to bet probably with our viewers as well, as it is one that's widely known and well, I don't want to say it's easy to use, but one of the easier ones to use. So let's get right down to it, baby. Understanding MACD. Let's just start with some basics as we typically do. MACD, or moving average, convergence, divergence, obviously is a technical analysis indicator, but it's known for measuring the relationship between two exponential moving averages, EMAs, from our previous lessons. It's composed of two lines. So the MACD line, okay, which is the first line we're talking about. This is calculated by subtracting the longer period EMA from the shorter period EMA. We don't need to know the duration. We don't need to know the mathematics behind it. We just need to know how to use it. So the MACD line is composed of the difference between the longer EMA and the shorter one. And then the signal line, which is the other line on the MACD, is actually the 9-period EMA of the MACD line. So it's a derivative of the original line. And those are the two that we're using, okay? So two lines show up on your MACD indicator, the MACD line and the signal line. To reiterate, the MACD line is composed of the difference between a longer EMA and a shorter one. The signal line is just the 9-day EMA of the actual MACD line. I hope that is not too convoluted. And this is typically how it appears on your chart. It usually will be on the bottom of the chart, typically where the volume is. I have it up with multiple different indicators. I'll just show you my look real quick. Here to digress, on the top we have RSI. This is average true range, and right on the bottom there is MACD. And I also have my volume. My volume ain't going nowhere, baby. So this is my MACD setup right here. Okay, and that's what you're going to see there. So on this particular chart, the MACD line is the red line and the signal line is the dotted green one. Not a hard and fast rule. Obviously, you can color them whatever you want. And then you'll notice these bars over here. This is a histogram. And the histogram essentially is representing the difference between the distance between the signal line and the MACD line. When the distance between the MACD line and the signal opens up, spreads out, you'll get longer bars, whether high or low. So you'll see here, the distance is between them. The MACD line is above the signal line, so you get bars moving up. When the MACD line is below the signal line, you'll have these histogram patterns down. You don't need to use the histogram patterns. All they're doing here is depicting the difference, the space between the signal line and the MACD line. You don't actually need them, okay? So let's talk about the first way, the method to use MACD. The one that I want to talk about first is MACD price action divergence. That means the price is doing one thing and the MACD is doing another. And so we're usually on the lookout for that because usually it's a leading indicator to what may be coming. I'll explain myself in a second. So divergence occurs when the MACD line moves in the opposite direction of the price. So we have two of these scenarios we want to talk about. There is the first one called bullish divergence. So this whole thing here is divergence between MACD and price. One's bullish, one's bearish. Let's talk about the bullish one first. This is where the price makes a new low while the MACD makes a higher low. So if you think about the price going down and to the right, it's making new lows, but and the MACD is going up and to the right, it made a higher low. So the lows between the price and the MACD not jiving. I'll show you what it looks like in a sec. Then you have bearish divergence, right? This is when the price makes a new high while the MACD makes a lower high. So again, diverging here, not with lows, but with highs. This indicates to you a potential bearish reversal. Let's see what they look like IRL. So here we go. This is a price action chart. Don't know what stock this is. Don't quite care. We get obviously a trough over here where we start drawing our trend line. And this will be, let's call this low 0. And then over here, we make a newer low. So a lower low than the previous one that we based our initial analysis on. Let's see what the MACD did at that time when the price made a new low. Funny enough, the MACD made a higher low. So this is kind of what we're looking for here. The price to continue to make lower lows, but the MACD saying, I've had enough of this low game. We're going to start making higher lows. And this is what we call bullish divergence. You don't have to act upon it right when you see it, but it is a leading indicator to tell you that the winds of change may be coming. Again, underline may, okay? The second one we want to talk about is bearish divergence, essentially the exact opposite of the first, okay? So what we're doing here, the price makes a new high while the MACD makes a lower high, okay? And this is exactly what we see here. This is price action crest over here breaking at 14.5, and then the subsequent crest to make the double top is higher than its predecessor. Not so, though, on the MACD. The MACD makes a lower high, and look what ends up happening. You end up breaking down. So this double top manifests, okay? And you can read these chart patterns on MACD as well. A double top on MACD could be used possibly as a reversal indicator in the same way that you're looking at a double top on the price action. So they don't negate one another. So that's the first method that we wanted to talk about there is price action, MACD divergence. It's a leading indicator, and it's possibly showing you that the winds of change may be coming. But that's not the only way to use MACD, not by a long shot. Let's talk about it as a signal buying tool. So how do we use it here? So MACD can be used to generate buy and sell signals based on the crossovers between the two lines we talked about, the MACD line and the signal line. So let's talk about exactly how to do that. The first one we want to talk about is the bullish crossover. Much like we had bullish and bearish for divergence, we have bullish and bearish for our crossover signal buying move. I'm sorry, guys.
Bless you.
Still got a little bit of a holdover cough there. So the bullish crossover, let's talk about that one first. This is when This is when the MACD line crosses above the signal line. And here it's indicating to you a potential bullish trend reversal. And I'll show you how this all looks on the chart in a second. And then the bearish crossover is the exact opposite of that. That's when the MACD line crosses below the signal line, and it's indicating to you a potential bearish reversal. And here's how they look on the chart. So we're with, on this particular instance, the MACD line is the blue line and the signal line is the red line. And lo and behold, when you get that blue-red crossover, it's literally at the start of the trough, and then we end up making higher highs and obviously higher lows, and we trend up nicely there. Looks like about $4 on this name. But you did get a crossover down here as well. And look what ended up happening. You start consolidating. Okay? So this is the bullish crossover. The bearish crossover, exactly the opposite of that. It's when the MACD line crosses below the signal line, indicating to you a bearish trend reversal, and that's what you get over here. So we're waffling. We make a new crest up there at around 15 and a quarter, and then you get the crossover between MACD and signal, and you end up making lower lows and lower highs for what looks like to be a period of months. Okay, not much in the way of price movement on this stock, but the fact of the matter is it made lower lows and lower highs. So this is what we call the bearish crossover. Let's talk about a different method, though, of using MACD. It's not just about divergence and crossovers. There's more. Oh, baby. Let's talk about using it in tandem or in conjunction with the relative strength index. Not, a focus of our lesson today, but if you want some, just quick cursory understanding of how to use RSI, just go back to our YouTube page, go to the search and type in RSI, and you'll have all sorts of videos on that. Let's talk about the different types of trades we can combine MACD and RSI with. Let's talk about the bullish entry, okay? In this particular case, what we're looking for is the MACD line to cross above the signal line. So we got the bullish cross, check. But then we also want to see what the RSI is up to, where it's at, what it's doing. In this particular case, you'll have a really nice high probability setup if you get the cross between the MACD and the signal line to the bull side and simultaneously have the RSI in oversold territory. That means, what does that mean? Well, that means, it's oversold. It should be being bought up. Obviously, it's not that simple with RSI, but in this case, you're already adding to it by getting the bullish crossover with the MACD line. So this is an interesting one you guys can be looking at. Look for the MACD line to cross above the signal line for a bullish entry, and simultaneously look for RSI to be below 30 or just coming out of that 30, or with the recent move up. There's a bearish entry as well, kind of the opposite. This is when the MACD line crosses below the signal line. So a bearish entry, it's a bearish crossover there. And in this case, what you want is the RSI to be above 70 in that overbought territory area, okay? And simultaneously, you're gonna be looking for the price action, obviously, to come back down. So two things you need to be looking at here: MACD line, bearish crossover, and RSI to be in that overbought territory above 70. So these are your entry signals to get into a trade, whether bullish or bearish. Let's talk about some before we do that, let's look over here. Okay, so this is the RSI, the blue line over here, and then the indicator below is MACD. So you'll notice that RSI kind of gave you the indication that the winds of change on this, move up could be coming before the MACD did, but you don't want to act upon it alone. You want to wait for confirmation from the moving average, convergence, divergence. So what am I looking at here? I'm seeing a crossed above 70 days, days before we got the bearish crossover between the MACD and the signal. So you didn't act upon it here, but once you got confirmation over here and you shorted, well, you can see the move there. All right. So the RSI gave you the indicator first that, the winds of change may be coming, but my suggestion to you would be not to act upon it until you get that bearish crossover on the MACD to add that next level of confirmation. So these are your entry signals, a bullish entry and a bearish entry. Let's talk about some exit signals, how to weasel yourself out of the trade. Let's talk about the bullish exit. So this is when you're in a long and you're looking really here for possibility of the trend ending, and this is going to be what you're looking for. The MACD line, first and foremost, what is it doing here? We want the MACD in this particular instance to be crossing below the signal line, but the RSI moves above 70. So we're not looking for the RSI to come down from 70 anymore. We're looking it to move into 70. So this is the idea here is that you may be starting to get overbought and it might be time to ring the profit bell. So that's your bullish exit. Let's talk about the bearish exit. So say you're short something and you want to know if the bleeding is going to stop. Here's what to look for. You want the MACD line, in this case, to cross above the signal line. So all of a sudden, we may be getting a shift in the trend because now we're getting a bullish crossover. Simultaneously, though, you want to see the RSI move in below 30. So it moves into that oversold territory. So you've got the two things. You've got the bullish crossover on the MACD, and the RSI is telling you, yeah, I think we've sold out enough here. It may be time to either consolidate or pop back up. So that's what you're looking for. MACD line crosses above signal line, but the RSI falls below 30. And those are the three trades that we're going to talk about today. And what really is remaining is just to tell you about some of the contexts where MACD does the best. So let's talk about when the MACD is most accurate, because this is when we should try to employ it the most. Number one, trending markets. MACD tends to perform far, far better in markets that are trending rather than ranging. Haven't heard that before. Markets also with consistent volatility tend to bamboozle you a little bit if you're using MACD. So MACD can be less reliable in markets with high or sudden price spikes. And I know we have the ad read, but I'm almost done.
I can get that ready.
Yeah, awesome. So just have an opportunity. And last but not least, longer term time frames seem to perform or seem to be a bit more conducive to the MACD. So while MACD can be used certainly on shorter time frames because everything is fractal in TA, it often provides more reliable signals when it appears on the daily or when it appears on the weekly. So keep that in mind. Obviously, if you're swing trading, that's kind of your bread and butter. And some data-driven insights here, because a lot of people always want to know, where we get this information, what kind of studies have been done on the accuracy or lack thereof of MACD.
Accuracy.
Huh?
The accuracy.
So here's a couple of, these are a couple of authors who did very thorough studies. They're kind of dated from 2006, 2004. But Gulnar and Brent Wormsley, this research analyzed the effectiveness of various technical indicators. One of them happened to be MACD. They tested it across multiple market conditions, multiple time frames. They found that MACD performed better in trending markets, and they suggested it was most effective when used in conjunction with other technicals, specifically RSI, which is why I chose to use RSI today for the last method here. And there was Kajavec, I hope I don't butcher this name, and Otters White back in 2004. This study was basically analyzing technical analysis in financial markets. It found that MACD, when combined with volume here, volume-based indicators, they said, could absolutely improve trading performance, especially in momentum and, identifying momentum in trending markets, so they said. So those are a couple of studies there. If you want to get a little bit more nuanced with it, have at it. And that is a lesson in there.
Yeah, and that is also brought to you, as the show is, by Benzinga Pro. Are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage, okay? You can get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. And I may be surprising no one here has spent a lot of this time watching the Lily book. I put this idea in the chat. Yeah, shout out to the Piper there for the comment on that. Happy to help it anyway. Not trying to give any advice here because the way I trade Lily is also heavily based on the order book. So I want to put that out there as well. But yeah, I mean, never advice, just always my take on the chart. My take on the chart in book and Lily right now is actually, it's rare that you have ideas that are kind of this clean. I think with Lily, although the book is so rangy, I'm not getting involved yet. I find this book to be really interesting because you've got actually with the book and the chart, a setup that could work out. When I say you, I mean me. I have a setup here if this goes in either direction, and I'd be risking the exact same amount. We have a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio either way. Let's get into it. So as a long, and I have the 30-minute chart. I won't trade off the 30. I have the 5 on my side chart, which also looks good. But I have the 30 up here just to show you guys the levels because I think they're crazy clean. Look at this 940 hold, okay? This 940 hold is wild. I said yesterday I saw us hold the bid there at 940, creep up, slam the ask there to the upside, and then we flew. We flew like $10. So Lily 940 to me, that is an area that I do not want to be around. So if I were to take this short at 944, which is an area I like because that's an area we've been waffling around, and I think it's a little bit clearer on the 5-minute, but you guys heard me wax poetic about 940 and Lily yesterday. So I'd be taking 944 short, I'd be getting out by 940, and I'd be risking into 946s, which, as you can see here, pretty interesting little top and turn area. Look at this violet and topping tail candles in 946.50s. Look at this hold at 946. Basically risking into 946 for the short. But then I'd be going long 946 for the long, risking it into 944s, taking profit at 950. So again, what I'm trying to say here is I'm using the exact same levels in either direction, risking the exact same amount, trying to make $4, risking $2 either way. To me, this is a plan that makes sense. And Lily, to me right now, is setting up for a long. I know I said that I was like not really sure that it was ranging, and it was. But Lily's doing that thing that I said I like when spready stocks do this, is when you have the spread, and Lily, you know, I used to hate trading spready stocks. I talked about this a lot when I first started, but you have to learn how the spread will talk to you. And what Lily's spread is saying right now is, hey, I like 946.50s-ish on the ask, but my bid is slowly creeping higher. So I like this look. I want to make sure, you know, I'm seeing some darker red things coming on here on the tape that I don't lerve. But I will lerve if I see Lily get above that. Oh, okay, we just climbed another 2 cents. Okay, I'm going to be getting ready here to get long. Okay. That is for sure. I haven't seen us get below 944. Also, I'm looking at Crocs here because we're below. Okay, no, I am getting long, Lily. We'll deal with my Crocs analysis later. Shout out to Sydney Sweeney. To quote Sydney Sweeney's character in Euphoria, I have never, ever been happier. So hopefully Lily continues to make me happy. If anyone knew that reference, shout out. I know it was a meme for a bit. But Lily, I've never seen the book this clean. I will be kicking myself if I don't get involved. Did not get filled. Let's see what happens there. How are you doing?
Good. I'm short softy at this this level over here. It's a little weak. A nice double top at around 424.75. That 75 penny level is not from nowhere. That's actually yesterday's closing print. Here is the 5-minute on MSFT. Big move up into 424.40. So yeah, 3 5-minute candles down. My out's 424, the break of 424. I'm looking for something around 423 and a quarter, basically to take it out ahead of the previous area trough. We have technically higher lows over here, but it looked like it was setting up for some weakness. So it looks like it's popping back up here, and that's typical for this market. This market, like, let me tell you, I haven't traded a whole lot, just one trade on Apple, but it seems awfully zigzaggy today. So we'll try to take the right trades, but quite frankly, you know, much like yesterday, I feel like I may not have a full read on this market. So keeping an eye here on MSFT as it is moving back up against my position. And as I mentioned, a 424 break to the north side. We're going to have to let this one go. We're short here at 57s. It was continuing to make some lows, but finding a bit of a move up. Keeping an eye on the future to see what this one is up to. Well, we're at VWAP right now on the future, on the NQ September contract. Can't really discern a trend here. We spiked up, we spiked down. Now we just find ourselves somewhere in between there in the kind of 19,867. So not an area that I charted, nor did I have a plan for anything at this level on the future. But Microsoft seems weak to me, so we're going to try to take this momentum down. And again, anything above 424, Dara, we're going to get out. How'd your Lily trade go? Did you get in? I
did get in.
Hey.
Still in it. Initially got part filled. Right now, I'm not loving what I'm seeing on the book. I'm trying to be calm. Also, one thing I really learned yesterday from trading a lot of these spready stocks is, like, I know I've been trying to have my hard levels on charts, but also if you see stuff you don't like on the book, like, why are you staying here? You know what I mean? So there's certainly a Pan W trade I should have gotten out of earlier because I was in the short and the book was doing that slow creep on the bid that, as I just said, I find to be deeply bullish. In this case, though, Lily is kind of giving you something funky. So we were holding 945.32s on the book, or on the bid, 946.32s on the ask. Now here, what we just did, though, is we dropped 12 pennies on the ask, but then we jumped like 30 pennies on the bid. Now we're higher on both sides. Okay, let's get going. I know someone in the chat, I think it might have been crap stocks in the chat, at one point was like, hey, Darren, can you do a lesson sometime on what you see in the book? I don't know if that would make sense, because I feel like it's easier sometimes if I just talk you guys through what I'm seeing in the book live as I see it, because you're not always going to have those moments. Especially as I'm trading these spready stocks, which I'm trying to do more of lately. I'm sure I'll have more opportunities to live talk you guys through these. But basically, I like this kind of creep up here in Lily. And also, I mentioned too, I liked it even better in the 5-minute chart. Look at these higher lows. Woo. Look how we're resting off the 90 MA, Sharif. To me, this looks beautiful. We just creeped up by a cent on Lily. That is what I call deeply bullish on the bit. Like I said, this is one of my kind of personal indicators. My biggest thing too as well, if I were to give like a quick book reading lesson, I think it comes from instinct. It comes from, like, if you want to be a reader, you got to read a lot of books. Take your time, look at a lot of order books, figure out what order books are setting up in the ways that you like, and you have to understand no two books are alike. You know, really, John Grisham and Agatha Christie, both mystery writers, both crime or loyal writers, they're not going to give you the same kind of book, okay? You have to know what type of book you want to read, what you're trying to get out of it, right? So when I'm reading my Tesla, when I'm scalping my Tesla, I'm looking for very different things because that is not spread. Lily is more of a spread play here, and this is kind of interesting to me. What we'll do here, and again, now we dropped 20 cents on the ask as we continue to climb in the bid. It looks like we're trying to consolidate on the book for a move higher. I'm going to stop like being a librarian over here and reading this Lily book, but I'm going to let her ride. We're about 40 pennies out of the money on Lily, which again, with this spread, that is like, I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm risking into 944s because look how well this 944 is held. I want no smoke if we're below 944, but I want all the smoke if we stay above the 944. Well, let me tell you.
I hear you.
Also, Crocs, I'll just talk about quickly because I mentioned Sydney Queenie. Someone made a funny pun in there, a punny in there, saying, oh, is she all she's crocked up to be? I do think she's a really good actor. That's a great pun. I was telling Sharif, we were saying we both think she's a pretty good actress there. She actually was nominated for 2 Emmys in the same year. And she's stepping into, her stepping into a different kind of shoe here, different shoe to fill, a different role to fill with this Crocs deal. So we're here. This is another spready one. This spread is tighter than it was lower. Now we're at like 15-cent spread. This was like 30 pennies earlier. I would like to see us get above the 90 MA. I think that'd be like a nice look. But again, really the only thing I have my eyes on right now is this beautiful Lily, which is again continuing to consolidate here on the spread. Also, if there's any stocks you're looking at that you want to hear Sean and Neil talk about, and like, you know, definitely in a different way than be waxing poetic about Eli Lilly, get into that chat. Let us know what you're looking at. Exclamation point. Join. Space. $, that ticker. Also, shout out to you guys because we didn't just have Mag 7 stocks yesterday.
No.
We had a wider breadth of stocks. So really shout out to that.
Thanks to you because you kept telling everyone, don't just
People in the chat were saying that too.
Yeah.
So also shout out to our production team for that cool look there. Also, Lily is definitely curling for a breakout. I know I'm biased because I'm in the long, but the book looks great. But I will let you guys, if you hear me screaming, I guess I know how that went. Hopefully we'll be pleased as punch here. And again, yeah, also because I was seeing some questions, yeah, we do a bit of a different show here than what Sean and Neil do. We're doing a little bit of education. We're doing a little bit of edutainment.
Yeah.
And don't worry though, we still take some hot fire trades.
Oh yeah.
How is your Microsoft going?
Whoa.
Wow, I am pleased as punch for you.
Thank you.
That's a nice little looker.
Thank you. Yeah. We're about 50 pennies in the money. 2 outs already. Bigger position this time around. I added because I had the conviction at 424 for the lower highs. I wet my beak there. I think at 50. So we're still holding it right now. We're short 93s. I'm getting 51s here on the bid. I ideally like something around the $0.25, but knowing all the while that if we don't put a newer low, this will be an area of possible support. The area I'm talking about, 423 and a fifth. Needless to say, this comes back into 424, 90, or so, yeah, 424. I'll give it to the 01s. I'm Gonzino, right? I'm not going to let any part of this trade go against me. It's a momentum trade to the downside. That means it's got to go down, not up, right? So that's how shorting works, by the way. So anyway, around 423 and a fifth, 423 and a quarter, I'm looking at taking out the final part of the trade. So Microsoft a little weak, down 1/3% on the day, zigging, zagging, big move up here had me feeling quite bearish about it, especially because it didn't bounce off any key level. So I felt like there wasn't really a buyer there supporting the name. Here we go in the 40s. I'm going to be waiting here to cover. Let's go 25 because I'm born on the 25th, and everybody knows how much I have an affinity for that number. Kind of crazy, but that's how I am. So we'll wait for something in and around that 423 $0.25. That's not the only one I'm looking at, guys. I'm sorry, Gorev and all the others. I have an Easy Trader as well. I haven't gotten to the small cap gappers yet. I was waiting for this Microsoft trade to finish, but I've got about 5 small cap gappers right now that all look quite good and that are tradable under my system, meaning they're above VWAP and above a discernible pre-market high. REVB kind of putting that to the test. I'll get to these in a hot sec, but I see you, Easy Trader. GovX looks good. I wanted to mention it this morning when we were at the big desk, but we didn't really have time there because we had other stuff to talk about. But obviously, monkeypox back in focus, and these vaccine names are likely going to be a thing. I was reading yesterday an article about it spreading in Toronto. Thankfully, it's the first variant. There's 2 variants now, one more contagious than the other. So far in North America, it's only the first less contagious, less aggressive variant that's made its way here. But who knows with international travel, how long that lasts for. So yeah, quite frankly, I'm all vaccinated out, and obviously I hate any of these pandemics or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is, if it manifests, then there's going to be tradable opportunities. So it behooves us to be aware of it. GovX really holding that 10 exponential, fantastic. And when it breaches the 10 exponential, it's been a love affair with the 20, which is the yellow line on my chart. I chart on the black charts, guys. It's always the 5 minutes. On the white chart is always the 1 minute. That's kind of how I roll there. So yeah, that's the look. Keeping an eye on these bad boys, Adara. How's your situation on the other side?
So Lily's going well, and Lily, you always have to remember here that Lily is going to take her sweet time. So we were like, and to clarify here too, when I say like in the money, I'm talking about on the bid side, I'm not talking about the ask side. So on the bid, we were a little like slightly in the money here. Now we're about 25 cents out of the money. Also, as we push higher, we're going to be changing my stop now to 945s. I don't think I need to give this to 944s. I think that would be really overzealous also, just given what we've looked into. I don't want to risk too much. So that's what's going to be happening there. Also, in terms of my exit rules, should we get more decisively in the money, I will be getting out. Okay, like I said, I want $4 on this. That'd be the be all end all. And I think that's realistic took 950 is a huge resistance level in the daily. I want to be out before 950, and I said that as well in the chat. So if we get into the 949 like 70s, that's where I have the order. That being said, you gotta have exit rules. You gotta take that profit so you can make that profit. Pretend that made sense. And honestly, like I said, I'm trying to not trade P&L, I'm trying to trade progress and learning. With that being said, if I'm in the money on Lily and I see things that I don't trust in the book, I'm gonna wanna be able to cut and run a little bit there so that, you know, my position doesn't take some Wegovy and get a little bit chip-topped there, and losing some weight there in that position. So I will be getting out if we get to 948s, and we can't hold 948s. If I see anything that gets a little bit ugly to me at 948s in the book, I'll be getting out. That being said, Lily really struggling here to get back above that 946. Every time I see something that looks kind of bearish on the book, then it reverts and goes a little bit bullish. And like I said, one thing I'm trying to do more, you guys know I've been looking at longer term time frames, but while you're in the trade, I find shorter term time frames to be really helpful to reference as well. Like, hey, what are we doing? Lily, this was a bit of a bearish candle here as we tried to push above 947 to get on the ask. We never got there in the bid. I'd be like yelling if we got there in the bid, let me tell you. But what I do like here, Lily, that gives me, okay, also that push up on the ask gives me ask. Goes make sure you're saying that very cleanly there. Diction with that one. But I like how we're holding the 90 MA on the 3-minute. I like that we're pushing. Oh, okay, well, I really like that. Okay, Lily there. Nicely
Lily.
Up here on the ask and doing that thing I love on the bid where we climb up by 1 cent. I am really proud of my read on this trade. We just climbed another cent. Like I said, when I see these bids climb by like a single cent, not always, you know, there can be exceptions, but to me, every time I've seen that happen, it's always been really bullish. We saw NVIDIA do that when it took that when Lily held 940s yesterday and popped. $10? Now it did that. Okay, it's doing that here again. Please, this punch. We had that with SMCI as well yesterday when we had that climb up above 660s. Yeah, Lily is going right now. I am pleased this punch, Lily. Don't take that Wegovy, okay? Like, just wait till you take your Wegovy. So I'm really happy with this trade, and I'm really happy to see this Let's Govy to the upside. Slap the ask, says Odyssey Fights. Yeah,
Get it, Tony.
Lily doing that. That is for sure. Shout out to everybody here in the chat with that one. Also, though, yeah, thank you to Vic Jan Novak saying, like, thanks for going over what you see in the book of Lily. I'm happy to, because, like I said, I think I said this a lot, why I feel this show is really beneficial, especially as I'm a very, very new trader. And I mean, I also want to thank Sharif for, I love the opportunity to be up here every day. But I think when you're talking about stocks, when you're talking about, hey, this is what I like in the trade, you can also solidify it for yourself. You realize this is actually what I am looking for. This is what I want.
So
here.
true.
Now, Lily, and it did this, I'm okay with it doing this a little bit. We push up higher, then we take a little bit of a pause, a breather on the ask. But we're holding the bid nicely. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what's happening here. With Lily, honestly, you really need to pack your patience. Your patient needs like an extra large bag, okay? Like that, the way that thing moves. But what else are people looking at here? Because really, like I said, I'm just trying to keep all of my focus on the possibilities here before I look at the possibilities in the rest of the market. Make sure though, if there's any stocks you're looking at, let us know in the chat. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers are in there. Jason Ryan saying she was an auctioneer before this. Nah, I you know, maybe I'm a talktioneer, dude. You know, you know, definitely can do some talking, but honestly, these markets just keep me really energized. They keep me excited. They keep me alive. A little bit of red coming in on this tape here, Lily, but the bid holding up pretty well. Let's see what happens from here. I will obviously keep you guys posted, and if I gasp, we know things are going well.
Joshua liked that pun there.
Oh, did he? I didn't even hear that. Well,
he was
thank you,
pumped
Josh.
about
I like your Hawaiian shirt.
All right, so I did well here on Softy, and I'm happy with this trade. Initially got in short. I'll just want to review it. 423.60, added at 424. Initial out was 423.50. Got out more 40s, then got out more at 30. So I'm happy with this trade. Looking to get back in. If it bounces off 423, there's been a whole lot of interactions today as a level of support with Microsoft and this 423. Look at the pre-market range. We were zigging, we were zagging, and we held 423. Then the opening bell comes, and we still hold that level. Even the trough there at the big market downturn at around 11 o'clock, just before 11 o'clock, held 423. So I'm all eyes and ears at this 423 level. Obviously, it has some sort of importance today with Microsoft, and if that's the case, then I want to capitalize on it in some way, somehow. So coming down into 423, I'm going to be very interested in taking along. I'm not going to have a resting order in and around there because, well, the market does bamboozling things. All right, let's look at the small cap gappers. There's the one that I specifically like here, and it's VRAX. Let me give you the deets as I typically do. VRAX. All right, Virax Biolabs. What are they? $13 2/3 million market cap with 20 1/3 million shares traded on the day. 1.7 million shares is the float. And let's find out what the short float is. And shout out to Nos Boss and his crew over there at Trade Ideas. 1% of said 1.7 million shares is short, so not a whole lot to talk about there. Good move up, obviously, needless to say. This has been a strong name. It had an outlying day on the 19th. That would be Monday, obviously, because of the whole issue with Mpox, monkeypox, whatever we're calling it these days. We'll keep an eye out on this $9 level. If it really gets going, it's having issues with 6. $5.99 HOD. Now, this 6 1/3 to 6.5 could also be important because those were the pre-market levels on good volume, mind you, good volume for the pre-market on Monday. So I want to see what we do with those levels before I really start looking at $9. But that's what everyone's going to be looking at. 850 is the closing print on these candles over here for Monday, with the wick coming in just shy of 9. We're knocking on the door, as I said, of 6. Healthy respect for VRAX and the 10 exponential on the 5 today. Nary a breach. In fact, no breaches, not nary, none. So every single wick, bounce, or otherwise, get it, Adara.
No, I'm not getting it yet. This thing just did a little bit of a shake and bake and a fake and bake. So we're gonna wait here. I just gasped because I was like, sorry.
I thought you were third Prince. My bad.
Well, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
We'll do it. I'll let you guys.
$6 as we're looking at right now just got touched for the high of day. Every single touch to the 10 exponential though has bounced off. Does that continue? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, VRAX certainly in play and on my watch. Let me give you the information on GovX because it might be a hot minute since I did. Here's the situation. $35 million market cap, $9.5 million shares traded on the day with a 2.5 million share float. And I'm willing to bet you this has a higher short float. And it does. 3.5% as opposed to 1 and change like VRAX. So again, nothing really, that could really get this to go parabolic. But the catalyst already is doing that. NEON, Neon, another good looker on the day, about 40% in the green right now. Rejected off 5, dancing at 4 2/3 right now. Here's the details on NEON. 3.3 million shares traded on the day, $72.3 million market cap with the float around 10.25 million shares. So not big, not small. And then last but not least, the short float. 2.5%, 2.45%. So again, not really big short floats on these names. NEON certainly in play. Held VWAP on every single touch. There was a healthy respect here for the 10 exponential on the 5. Now we get more consolidative as we typically do during the midday show. This sort of midday lull, so to speak. $4.50 seems to be an interesting level here. Okay, so we crested initially at 1010 and 1020 at this 450. We come down, then we end up taking it. We clear it by some distance, weaseling our way up to 5. Lo and behold, when we do come down, we hold 450, and we have been for the last 15 minutes or so. So 450 operative here, but so could VWAP, which is in the low 440s. So kind of hard to, gauge this, but I'm more inclined to want to use price action, support, and resistance rather than indicators with these small cap gappers. In any event, NEON in play. You'll see here I've got Target, I've got Macy's on here in case they really do move. Obviously, they are earnings plays. Target with a big dub, Macy with a big L. It's funny how, it's become really a stock picker's market because these are two retailers not really competing, obviously, because they target different market groups, but it is now, I really believe it's become a stock picker's market. So keep your eye on these two, TGT and M, obviously TJX on there, but not much of a day trading stock, at least not from what I recall. But hell of a move. Nonetheless, trying to dance with 120 right now seems to be some resistance in and around there. I had GDC up, but you hate first of all, I don't like the range per candle. on this stock. And what I mean by range per candle is when you look at the 5-minute, what's the average range, right, relative to the price? And I can just gauge this. It's very rangy. That influences your beak wetters. It influences your stops. It influences your entries. It influences your trading plan. And so I don't really like trading these. And on top of that, that's a hell of a topping tail that just dropped $1.20 there. So we'll see if it can weasel its way and hold back above VWAP. $3 looks to be important here for GDC. No idea what this company is. Let me give you the deets on it super quick, since I've started yapping about it. All right, $3 billion market cap. It is not a small cap gapper. It's traded about 3 1/3 million shares on the day, and the float is 1.1 billion shares, so it's much, much larger. And if there's a short float, we'll find out here from Trade Ideas. No, there's about 0.5% of the float is shorted, so not much to talk about there, dear.
Yeah, I mean, lots to talk about here in this Lily. I like it. The biggest thing you have to remember is hack your patience, Adara. Breathe. So the reason I gasped there was because we actually were nicely in the money. We were doing, like I said, my favorite bullish thing where the stock just drips to the upside on the bid. Then we slammed down. We slammed down back to 946, 945.70. So again, 30 cents out of the money for Lily. That's like whatever, right? But I was just shocked by watching that move. That was crazy. I was starting to get a little bit nervous, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, we had a little bit of red, darker red coming in on the tape. At this point, then we curl back down. We're like 945, 50s. Like I said, I'm now trying to risk more into like that 945. So I was like, Lily, what are you doing, girl? But then Lily was like, Adara, you still have 50 cents here that you're risking, okay? Like, breathe, chill, chilly. Be a little more Eli chilly in your Eli Lily, right? So I was like, okay, Lily, I appreciate that. For whatever reason, this 946.30 area we're struggling with on the ask or the bid. Sorry, I don't know why, but we get here and then we have like a little baby panic attack and we come back down. I honestly, though, have no reason to leave because, like I said, I was initially going to risk at 944s before I realized that's kind of ridiculous, Adara. Like that is a level, but you're giving it way too much room to run when you don't really need to. Like, look at what we're holding 945. So either way, we're like 37 cents in the money right now for Lily. Just again, to be clear, that things can change in a heartbeat, right? So I'm trying to be calm. This is a very different, I was going to say it's a different type of trade for me, but really it's not. This type of trading I want to be doing, which is why I'm doing more of it. There we go, Lily. Let's keep pushing higher here. Also, I want to shout out Sean. He had a great question yesterday for Michael Shannon there on the market recap. Like, hey, what type of trader are you? That type of thing. They're having conversations about how you have to know what type of trader you are. And Sean and I were talking off camera because I've kind of had the same journey as well, where I was like, hey, why am I not trading these spready stocks? I got sat down on Monday because I was doing delinquent things with some of these stocks. And then yesterday, I was down yesterday. I'm going to be very clear about that. But I traded Eli Lilly, Pan W, and SMCI, and I didn't get shut down. And that's because when you have thank you, I appreciate that. And I felt good about all those. I waited for all those. When you have stocks that you're comfortable trading in levels you like, you owe it to yourself to go after them. Lilly trying to consolidate a little bit, pushing a little bit lower in the ask, but holding on the bid. And hopefully we're going to keep having the confidence and the confidence. Because my verdict on this trade is hold it for now, Adara. That being said, we get a little bit of red coming in here on the tape. Keeping an eye out. Flat on this right now. Let's keep it coming. Sorry, guys. I know I keep narrating this book. But, okay, Lily's just coming down here. I might have to. Let's see what we do here as we try to push lower to 945. This is the lowest we've dipped into since I've been in this trade. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this. I might have to pass it off to you. Yep. But thank you very much, Sheree, for that. Appreciate it. Donald John Trump is on the move. And I'm not talking about the person. Maybe he's on the move too. Maybe he's on his little Trump airplane there, which is a Boeing, by the way, 757. People love the 757s because they're fast, Adara. Apparently, he's got a Zoom. He's got a lot of places to be sure. He's got people to see. Anyway, that's good. DJT up 10 and 3/4, 10 and 2/3, really started to get going. So we saw this on the morning show. Neil called it out. We looked for headlines, couldn't find anything. I'm still headline lists. Let me just double check that to make sure that I know Ram, we make up words around here, but that's all good. It's still without a headline. Okay, so it doesn't really matter because we don't really need one. We know the DNC started yesterday. The election's closer. Don't come at me in the chat. I'm not making a call either way. I'm just saying what people are saying. All right, huh? Neil.
In any event, Donald John Trump's moving, and I like this stock. So we're going to keep watching it. Break through that 23 3/4 coming into 23.80 Ram. And it's been a strong name on the day. Really got that volume spike. I want to say 11:45 or around there. It does look like we had a big boy volume candle come in at exactly 11:47, which was worth about 273,000 shares. And that's what this big boy candle was. But look what it was doing prior to that. Incrementally working its way up. Obviously, right away, what I'm seeing, 22 3/4 important today, this 70 penny area. Look at the amount of interactions we had with 22.70, and this is on the one. All right, we troughed at it here initially, 9.50. Got back into it again, 10.08. Again, 10.18. Again, 10.57. All of which held. So this is obviously interesting to me. Now, we're obviously well away from that level. How do I weasel in the trade? Two ways. One, I'm looking at this 23.40, 23.50 retracement. If that doesn't hold, then I'm looking at 23.30. These are two area crests. You know how I trade. I need a retracement. I'm not punching in at high. It's just not the way I go. Okay, so I need a pullback into an area of technical support. If that's 23.50 or 23.40, fine. If it's not, if it's around here, 23.30, because they're both area crests, fantastic. It may not even come back. It may be knocking on the door of $24 very soon because we're weaseling our way into 23.80s. The volume is picking up on Donald John Trump and it's moving into the high side. I'm going to submit to you that this is moving because it hit all-time lows. I'm not talking about pre-SPAC. I'm talking about,
I guess, too.
Yeah. Well, it hits all-time lows and there's no headline, and all of a sudden we're moving up, 12 and change now. Look, it was obviously lower when it was trading under, what was it? DWAC. DWAC, yeah. It was DWAC. Obviously, it was trading well lower than that, but since the de-SPACing, it hasn't been this low. And now it just broke 24. This thing is on the way up. It may not give me a retracement entry. I may not get my 23.5, 23 1/3. Donald John Trump is on the way up here, Katina, man. It's pumping up a storm, and it's up above 12% right now. It's just going to be how we deal with it. So let's look at the spread. First and foremost, 6 penny spread right now, which I don't absolutely love, but is not bad. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an order at 23.50 and come what may. What's your look at there?
Yeah, so I got out of Lily here. We did get below 945. I risked $1 on Lily. I have to say, though, I am really happy I took this trade because I would have regretted not taking this trade. That book is so bullish. And I was thinking, oh, why didn't this work out? Well, you never know why, right? But the SPY was pushing lower. I don't think that helped Miss Lily at all. I think Mademoiselle was a little bit freaked out by the SPY moving lower because every time we had that bullish push in the book, we'd have that violent move down here right after as the SPY would push lower. So timing matters. Like I said, I have another idea on this, and it's if it breaks below 944. But I really still see Lily as something that, if we get to that 950, I think it's going to be a good look. And again, you'll never know why things happened. This order book was very bullish. The movement was very bullish. Generally, the tape was very bullish. But we did have that move down in the SPY, which, like I said, I don't think Lil's really liked. So the Lilster, as Sharif will call her on my behalf. Certainly interesting. And again, Obi talks a lot about no regrets. I would have had a huge regret had I not traded this. I have to make that very clear. And I'm also happy I didn't risk into 944, so I think it would have been giving it a little too much wiggle room. That being said, now it's bouncing off 944s, but it's do you want to sit in Lily with it $2 against you? I don't know. So we'll see here. Looks like we're pushing back up above 944s. I'll still be watching this book, but there's another book I want to talk about. Shout out to Darius Golden because he messaged me and he was like, yeah, so you know what stock I'm looking at? I do. He looks at a lot of SMCI and I've been trading SPCE as of yesterday. Hey. SPCE is a regular resident of my side chart. And Darius Golden, I've noticed, also shout out to you, has had some pretty good levels on SPCE. And I like SPCE as well because you can trade this one very similarly to what you do with Lily in that there's a lot of stuff here on the book. So basically, I also kind of thought, he was like, do you see a bit of a head and shoulders? And I did. And I watched the book at 6:15 and it was very bearish. But then SPCE's like, what do you mean head and shoulders? Pushing higher. My only levels on SMCI, you guys know I wanted that $600 breakdown. And
it don't.
SMCI was like, no. I like the bounce here of 610. I think that was an interesting level yesterday. Bit of an interesting level today as well near VWAP. I don't have any levels on this right now. And I'm not going to trade it just to trade it. However, SMCI is still on the side chart because that is a name that does volume every single day and it has a spread like how I like my spreads moving. So I do have to keep eyes on it. Pen W coming into a level that I liked yesterday on earnings at like way, to be clear, it's way below that level now. Maybe I should have had eyes on this instead of Lily, but man, did I like that Lily look better. So I'm happy I took it. That Pan W 363s. That was a bit of an area on earnings. Obviously, we pushed way above it after, but look at this top. It turned at 363s. Previous support, Huadunk. So Pan Dub, I don't have any levels in you right now. Meta, hello. Wow, Meta, your spread's getting tight. Oh my gosh, you're looking 10. Spread has a 10-cent spread, Sharif.
Oh.
When does that happen? Yeah, okay, this is really interesting. I said to Sharif, that 530 level, I've been watching on Meta all day. You guys have probably been hearing me talk about this over the last few days as well. Meta 530. Meta didn't even get to 530 to give you that bounce. It got just shy of 531s. I think Meta here, this is obviously a little bit of a bear flag formation that we are up 1% of the day. We had that huge lower chop and turn. Let's see what happens here. As the spread, I always say, as the spread tightens in spready stocks, that can give you a big sense of direction. I don't want to rush into this without levels. I'm going to keep watching the book on this. Smicky, still watching the book on that, but I don't have an entry level here. Like Meta, I feel better about these intraday levels. 532 short would be my best play here. As I said, bit of a bear flag. I like that we had the spread tight. We had a false breakout of 532. We could not do it on the bid. So I'm actually going to try to get involved in here. And you know what? We're just going to 532.50. Oh, just got a little bit of a violent push up here. Thank you, Meta, for giving me an opportunity to rethink my life choices. Appreciate that. But if you guys are looking at anything in the chat, let us know. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. I started to Quantron saying regret is an emotion, trade without emotion. I agree, and that's why, like, I guess that's a good way of putting it, right? I think more it's just like, when I say regret, I mean like you owe it to yourself to take trades you like, right? And if you're not taking trades that you like, then I think that to
then
me.
What are you going to take? The trades you don't like?
Right, that's what I mean. And so I think, I guess I didn't mean to read it regret in terms of emotion. I think I meant it more like that is a trade, that's a trade in my plan, so it's bad trading if I don't take it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I meant. Maybe regret is the wrong way to word it.
I think you already know that. We always talk about Alfred and the dead inside joke.
Trading like you're dead inside. And that's, honestly, that's how I kind of meant to word that. So I appreciate the opportunity there. I didn't mean it like, ooh, like I'll spend the day ruining this choice. But it's more like you want to make sure you're making choices that make sense for you, that when you reflect on your day, when you're aggressively journaling, you're like, that was a good call.
I love the aggressively journaling comments. It's great.
I honestly, journaling has been super helpful. Meta here, okay, I don't think I'm going to get this, Phil, but Meta, we're going to try to get involved 95s here at Meta. I'm going to actually take some size with this. Let's see if it goes. How are you doing? I'm
good. I'm in DJT. I wet my beak on some profits. We took 15 pennies real quick here on Donald John Trump. Look, my out is going to be the break of the $0.50. We're going to give this one a little bit of room, but not too much. And my next beak wetter there is to test near the high a day at around 24-ish, a little bit before 24. So it's going to have to hold up here. Otherwise, I'm gonzino. What's going? I know. I shorted it, Katina Man, and it broke 423 aggressively. Shout out to the Katina Man who just saw Microsoft and was like, oh my God, Microsoft, because it's dumping. Oh. No, Katina Man, that's not true. Ram made a cameo today.
The Rameo.
Ram, how did you feel being on camera at the big desk? You felt vulnerable and exposed.
She sounded so sad.
Good, I'm happy about that.
She sounded so sad. She was like, I felt vulnerable and exposed. She was like, good.
Because she didn't know it was coming,
no,
right?
She didn't. Like, I saw Sharif gesturing to Fabian, and I was like, that's kind of weird. She's gesticulating wildly to Fabian. Ramin's at the big desk. I'm at the big desk. We're talking. We're laughing. And then all of a sudden, I see her go on camera, and I'm like, that's what Sharif did.
I know.
That was his doing.
I was conspiring with Fabian, Adara. We were conspiring to conspire. Is that a charge? Conspiring to conspire?
Aiding and abetting? Conspiracy? Well, conspiracy.
Watch my back, she says. Ram, I have material. I have material. I know. It's an open threat, Katina Man, and you heard it right here. You heard it first, Katina Man. She threatened me. No, I love Ram. We're just kidding, obviously. All right, so I'm still involved in John. I'm still involved in DJT. Look, it looks like there is some sort of a buyer around here. I don't want to paper hand this trade, but I also know that it's awfully volatile and without a catalyst, okay? Now, if the price action is what it is, I'll trade it the way it is. But a $0.50 is going to have to hold up here, despite the fact that I'm looking at the book and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of size at that $0.50. No real buyer moving up with me as the tape advances to the high side. So I'm feeling feeling, you know, the initial buying that we saw come in about 20 minutes ago, it may be drying up a little bit right now. So the $0.50 is going to be my line in the sand. It's going to have to hold up above there. Otherwise, we're not going to hold on to it. Oscar, I see you, sir. Oscar wants me to check SoFi. Absolutely. This company has been very, let's call it, doing a lot better lately. Let's just say that, okay? Vlad Tenov really turning this company around and, you know, no longer being looked at as like, you know, that baby boy kind of CEO. Now, you know, we're talking about him as kind of the real deal here. So let's, yeah, I know.
Kind of the real deal.
Well, Dara, you should have seen him during the pandemic.
I saw, I also watched like Dumb Money as he was
well, there you go.
Stan,
You know exactly
that gave me
what I'm
kind of
talking
a picture,
about. So here's a look on SoFi. Obviously, this has been some sort of, you know, there's been a lot connected with student loan forgiveness with that. And so that's been kind of one of the issues. I just need to make sure that I've got my eyes on DJT here so it doesn't really go against me. So we'll start with the daily stock. Oscar, obviously still a bit of a downtrend, but you know, if we connect the tops, obviously it's lower highs with a little bit of the lower lows. Okay, a little bit, but I would say we're possibly in a newer trend. Now, that's for the daily. I don't know if that's what you're asking about. Let's look at intraday right now. Intraday, it's the hockey stick pattern. Okay, so DJT did break below the whole dollar, so I got out there. Yes, I did get out. What did I get out? I got out at 44s. Okay, so we'll give back a little bit there. That's all right. So SoFi looks like a bit of a hockey stick pattern, and if I could say so myself today, we're not really doing a whole lot of volume, nor is there really the directional move that you want to see in a name like this on the day. So with respect to SoFi, I've got no intraday trades on it. There seems to be a bit of a buyer at 717, but this isn't the price action, guys. This is not the price action that we're looking for a SoFi. It's without a catalyst, and this one usually moves a bit better when it does have a reason. So there was obviously a seller as well at 730 when we bounced up off there. I'm hesitant to use any technical indicators here, Oscar, on the 5 because it doesn't look like it's respecting any. The respect comes here vis-a-vis the price action. Now you can see that these institutional levels were also instructive because they seem to bottom out in an area that we topped out at, and that seems to be that 730. These institutional prints come at 8 a.m. A lot of theories about what they are and you know what they may denote, but I'm not going to get into that. No tinfoil hat around me at the moment. But 730 seems to be a level, and then there's obviously somebody buying it. 716, 717, a bit of a consolidative chop and churn over here. Not much for me, though, sadly, on SoFi. Let's leave that one do its thing and have a look at some more names that could be moving here intraday. Let's bring in the side chart and see what's afoot. So people were yelling about Apple dropping and more accurate they could not be. So is Meta. So is Microsoft. And you got to say there's overall weakness right now on said future because we are literally near the day of low, near the low of day. I'll get it right. On the NQ September contract, we're coming into 19.8. We're about 6 points or so off that level. We were possibly looking at a 20,000 touch today. Now we're 19.8 and looking to go red on the day. In fact, now we are red, and there goes 19.8. The future is headed down, and so are all these Mag 7 names without exception. NVIDIA breaking that 127 now. It is negative on the day. Tesla on the way down to 220. Here comes 220 on Tesla. I swear to God, Katina, man, 220 right now, 05 on TSLA. That 530, Adara.
I know, I'm watching it.
Now, she's watching
I'm watching that book, guys.
She was talking about 530 on Meta.
Tasty.
We just breached 530 on Meta right now. All sorts of weakness on this here future. Looks like it is a sell the kind of situation right now on, on the market and at this noon hour. Lots of weakness here. And I'm looking to see if there is anything afoot on this news or anything coming in midday here on the blotter. We're not seeing a whole lot, but obviously if we get anything, Adara, we will share it with the viewers.
Yeah, I think I'm going long Meta here at 530. I know that might seem insane. I'm not taking a huge position, but I want to talk about why I like this. We have that push down in the market. It's violent. It's gross. Look where we bounce. 529.50 pre-market area. You guys know I love that 530 on Meta. I am taking this long. I feel okay about this long. I said to Sharif, if we come to 530s and bounce, I'm going long Meta. That was the thing I said. So, I said, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I also want to be cognizant. I wasn't able to get my 532 short, so I want to be cognizant that there's no revenge trading. I want to make sure of that. But man, do I feel good about this. Confidence, that's what we got
Get
here.
it, Adira.
Let's pop up here. I'm risking to 529.50s. I think that's very reasonable. I want minimum like 531.50s here, so risking 50 cents, looking to make minimum $1.50. That is a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Definitely not bad, and honestly, better than normally what I do here. So let's see what happens here in META. Shout out as well to Darius Golden in the chat, mentioning there McKee at that 615 level as a potential bounce. Unfortunately, that did break below. I think that could be interesting if we do see a nice bounce here. And it's always hard when we have these moves down in the market, in stocks, when we have the whole market move down, right? Because you've got levels, the levels get a little bit, right? Like with Lily, I still feel like the long was setting up really nicely. Then we had that move down in the SPY, and Lily got a little bit scared, which is fair. But here we go. Meta still, as we get another push down here in the market, Meta's still holding up pretty well. I believe in you, Meta. Now, like, I want to clarify, this is not, like, getting long at the low of day is not something I would have done had I not had multi-day day levels on Meta. 530 is a level I've loved on Meta for quite a while, so I did think in that case I owed it to myself, and that's why I want to talk about this again. We had, I think it was Quan Tran in the chat saying, like, you know, regrets and emotion, you don't want to trade with emotion. I guess the better word here is, like, I guess, confidence, going with your gut. Right? Trusting your gut and what you see when you're trading. Because if you're not trusting your gut, then that's a trading mistake. That's not emotional, that's clerical, right? And so I think with that in mind, we're 50 cents in the money on Meta.
Woo!
Let's see how this goes here. And I think that's like definitely in terms of, I guess it's not regret, it's just like, you know, missed opportunity, I guess is what it would be. I'm just trying to find ways to work things. Same with like when I say hope, then it sounds like hopium. I feel like with the way a lot of trading words are, things can get misconstrued. I definitely do not want to be taking any hopium here. I don't want to be having any trading with emotion, but look at how much this 530 was resistance. The fact that I love this look here, I still stand by this. We're still above 530. I'm okay giving this 50 cents because I think that Meta, should it run, it could run. A little bit of a push up here in some of these Mag 7 names. Meta holding 530, 30s. Let's go. Ralph saying long Meta at 530 sounds insane, actually. That like I said, I know. Call me crazy. I agree. Call me crazy. But if I saw it in the book and I liked it, I didn't get involved the second we dropped. I waited for that hold. But also, if you have any levels you like on anything ever, it's always really worth noting that we got to thank, well, yeah, go in that chat too.
Oh, my bad.
Get in that chat and let us know what you are trading. $! Join space that ticker. But also, we got to join. Yeah, don't worry, Ramin. I was trying to build up to that.
She knows.
Shout out to Ramin and Fabian. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. They are the dynamic duo over here. Forget about us. They're also the Muppets. I love when they do that, like with the little Muppet animation there. But shout out to Moo. Are you looking to maximize your idle cash? Earn 8.1% here, okay? 8.1% on idle funds for up to 3 months. Plus, U.S. users can take advantage of up to 15 free stocks and $300 in cash rewards. Hey, Canada, you're not left out. Well, thank you.
Get it.
Enjoy 6% on cash balances, along with up to a $2,000 commission rebate. Yeah, you put the Muppets on there. Sign up with Moo to trade on extended trading hours. Trade 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. well beyond regular market hours. And whether you want to react to pre-market news, catch after-hours earnings, or simply manage your portfolio with a little bit more flexibility, Moo has got you covered. Maximize your trading potential and stay ahead of the curve with extended trading hours. For more details and the full terms and conditions, scan the QR code and check the link in the description. Thanks to Moo for sponsoring this portion of the show. I am going to go babysit my Meta here, but thank you very much to Moo. Thank you to Fabian and Ramin for everything you guys do, and vote in the chat, guys. Meta's still 50 cents in the money here. Let's go. How are you doing?
All right. I want to mention the Katina Man is now long AMZN at 179. He's looking to take that bad boy long. That is yesterday's closing print. 178.89 is where we closed out on Amazon. We're up 1/5%. Shout out to the Katina Man. Hope he prints. Now, here's the look. I was talking to Gorev in the chat about Target, and Gorev has a great look here. He's like, look, man, there's a hammer candle that's forming on the half an hour. This is the half an hour chart on TGT, and more accurate he could not be. We dip in, we briefly break below 160, but you saw the buyer exuberance there, lifting this one right above that 160 area. 160 area, and now we're knocking the door of 162. So I was looking at this, I'm like, Gorev, you know, looks like we have a great look here on TGT, but I think we're inching into that 162 area where there might be resistance, and he already had well advanced notice of that because he's like, look, man, I'm trimming my position already at that level, and we get up into 162. Look how quickly we dropped Gorev into 160 and a half. So that 162 level end up being a real thing. And we touched that level at 10:10, bounced off it, came back into it again at 10:30, bounced off. Then we gave way at about 10 to 11, and then we weaseled into it locally over here, weren't able to take it. I want to see, Gorev, though, what happens at 160. Okay, we have this outlying event over here where we dipped into 158.97, but I'm not going to have a resting order at 160, but I will be very interested to see how it trades. If we do get into that level and we bounce, I'm going to take TGT long. Obviously, it's a monster, up 12 and a quarter, 12 and a fifth, depending on what second you're looking, because it's changing often. So TGT, big boy moves. Loving this stock on the day. GovX still holding up on with the small cap gappers, bouncing off VWAP. Good move here for GovX. So is Neon. These two are in play. GovX and Neon are in play. VRAX has a decision to make here. So yeah, because it just got into VWAP, Katina Min at 5 1/3. So it either holds up here or it's not tradable as a breakout for a small cap gapper. So keep your eye out on VRAX. It breached VWAP ever so briefly, was bought up quite aggressively, moving up 20 pennies, quick as you like. But this one obviously topped out at 6 1/3. We'll have to see if it can hold up at 5 1/3, 5 1/4. VRAX looks awfully good here. What else is afoot on this market? Beanie wants me to look at GSAT. Absolutely, sir, because you asked multiple times and you asked nicely. So let's do it. GSAT. Let's look at that for our friend Beanie. All right, so what is this stock? What's the situation with this stock? Let's find out. All right, so it's BINI. I just want to load it up on the side. Watch list over here so that it can update, because for whatever reason, GSAT.
I also thought Beanie was a ticker when you said it, because it sounds like something we would call a ticker.
Yeah, sorry, because BINI, right? Yeah. No, that's his name. 11.4%. Look, this is not doing a whole lot. $2.6 billion market cap, almost more than a half million shares trade on the day. The float's large, 750 million shares. Let's just check quickly before we send it to Neil what the short float is on this. 4.3% short float. Seems like there's a seller though, Beanie, at $1.42, but it's held up quite well. Are you ready or no? Oh, okay. Anyway, it's putting in higher lows. So my suggestion to you is, if you're going to take this, look to get in on, either the 10 or the 20 exponential, and it's going to have to break 142 for you to stay involved, because you don't want to be in at 140 and there's a huge seller at 142. But good look on the day. GSAT looking to be up about 11.5%. But as we tell you about that, we want to tell you that Neil's lesson of the day is ready.
I want to know what that was about.
I had $1 on Meta.
What? Go back to that for a second. Yeah. Go back.
I took a dollar club on Meta there. I know I initially was looking to see what we did at 531.50, but the book was getting really ugly at 531. It was also kind of below the 90 MA here. Like I said, I like looking at my shorter time frames here. Obviously, we pushed higher now, but yeah, I just want to take some profits. I was like, Adara, trust yourself. Took $1 on Meta. Can I have the dollar club animation, please?
Oh, absolutely. Where's it at? There it is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll see what Meta does here to get to 532s. I'll rant about this later, but let's hear from Neil and his awesome lesson of the day.
Get it, Neil.
Letting me interrupt there. I apologize.
Okay.
Come on, we had to get to that. There you go, Adair, that meta trade. Find that 530 bottom. Key levels matter. And you know what? A little bit of an adjacent to the lesson, I want to talk about the difference between accumulation and support and resistance. So if you can find that 530 support on Meta, sometimes a wick bottom or a bounce level, you're going to like it for support because the buyers come in. You're going to like it for resistance when the sellers come in. But there's a difference to me between that and when a stock is accumulating at a price. So this can be where you don't just sit there, dip in, and run away where it's obvious. I'll use an example. Like obvious, look at the 223 on Apple here. Like that is a dip support level if you've ever seen. When you see it dip in and run like $2 off the open and then close higher, it comes in the next day, you go another $2, $3 move off that level, an initial one, buck change. That's a big dip support. It's going to look great on a 15. It's going to look good on a daily. But accumulation can be a little bit different. When you go out in there in that dip buy level, A lot of times, because it's so extreme, these ones, you want to see what happens, because if you get it near the level or adjacent to the level, you're going to be good enough. It's running away from that price, the higher time frame, longer hold, longer look, all that good stuff. But accumulation levels are a little bit different because by nature, they last around a little bit longer, the ranges can be a little bit tighter, and then suddenly you might not get as big of a move. However, they're really, really easy to spot. So the first example I want to use is Apple, where you had a clean one here. Triple top on Apple yesterday. 227 and change every single time. Accumulation meaning the sellers are just sell, 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 sell. The buyers have no trouble getting into that level because it's a strong stock. So it's holding a consolidation above the last double bottom and then just accumulating up at the top. So it's a relatively tight range, only about $1 for the entirety of the day, unless you count the that first 5 minutes. About $1 range for the entirety of the day with accumulation in this zone. So when I see that happen, it becomes pretty simple. Either it breaks away and I'm long over, or I'm waiting for the accumulation bottom where you've got this nice little range to give it. And it's just completely binary. Unlike here where you're just waiting for 223 and you get that long, try to hold on to as much as you can because you're rallying off that level. This is just so different. In this case, it's here works or adjust plan of action because it's told me where I want to trade. And when you pull it up on the daily chart, that's also what accumulation looks like. Big, strong upward move. It's holding the trend up here, but it's accumulating at that price of resistance. It's not falling apart. It's not going into resistance and dying like a chart of Boeing might do, or insert other name that is a trending to the downside. It's accumulating up at the top, and it's even more clear on the 15-minute. The upward trend is perfectly fine, but there is your accumulation. You're either trading the break or you're trading the support, and that's what ends up working out. There's a bit of an equilibrium happening on the stock, and when that's the case, it's going to do a lot of shares in a smaller range. And if you see that, you've got to adjust your plan of action. Apple's not doing what it was doing before where you got those $3 moves. Unless you absolutely get it perfect, look for the range you can. It's $1 both of these, 26 to 27, 27 to 28. Just play that range a few times, and it's the same thing as holding that $3 winner. Now, not all accumulations look exactly like that. There's like a micro level that you can look at, and we talked about this a couple of times with US Steel since the last story of the administration possibly being against, the Trump administration, if they win, being against the Nippon Steel deal with US Steel. So the other level of accumulation can simply be a barcode. And the traditional would be in here, where we see it. Just like in Apple, where you've got like a tight range, there's your accumulation, a tight range runs away from it. But the other style of trade was what was working on this over and over again, in which I was just in. And that is when a stock in a trend, one direction or the other, in this case down, hits a bottom or hits a level and then just starts barcoding off of the same support line. If it was up, it would be a resistance line. And the simple play would be, if it's in a downward trend and it goes sideways, short at the level or on the break. And so this worked here when the news dropped. This worked here where it accumulated, either short the range top, that's the range top, or short the breakdown. That's the breakdown. Both of those trades work. Look at it make another bottom, one bottom, two bottoms. Okay, now it's got another bottom here. Short the range top, never gets there. Short the breakdown. Makes another accumulation. Short the range top, never breaks. Short the breakdown. Short another one. So it's over and over again it did this pattern. So work or not today, I know it's a trade that I'm going to want to have. Show me an accumulation level. It made this as support, goes as resistance. It hangs out here at 38.70 once, twice, three times. I wait till it's about 10 minutes in, and then I'm short this at 70. I think I got 70s and 70 halves with an out at 73. 3 cents worth of risk that if it falls apart, I'm looking for 38.30. Now, it never goes more than 10 cents in the money for me. If I scalp some out at 5, scalp some out in front of the 60 level. Actually, I was at about a third and then took it to half because of the way the support came in there at the 60 level. They refreshed it, so I just got out. But that's the difference between support and resistance, where I wouldn't call this a monster support or resistance level. It's trading in the middle. What it is doing is accumulating at that level. And if that's the case, I just want to join the trend wherever I can. So a couple of different examples here. One, we're at barcodes in the middle of the day, like the US Steel, and then just goes back to the pattern from before, giving you a pretty solid risk to reward. Risk a little, breaks, make a lot, or something like an Apple, where you've got to adjust your plans off the accumulation level. It's not moving the way it was before, but when it breaks away from one level, you can take that trade. When it gets down to the accumulation bottom, you can take that trade. And then it gets very, very range bound. Trade the range if that's what's happening on the stock. Apple was accumulating. The $3, $4, $5 moves in one shot aren't going to necessarily be there. So make sure you can adjust your plan of action for the market that you are in. Difference between breakouts and explosions and a stock that is going to be accumulating at a price level. You can still make money on it, and that's your lesson of the day.
And awesome, as always. My ear ram, dang. Thank you very much, Neil. Neil Roberts, every day around that lunch hour, dropping his hotlines. Neil's lesson of the day, thank you very much. All right, keeping an eye here on Microsoft. I had a couple of good trades on this one earlier. Now it's got a couple of green candles under its belt off that 421.72 low. It is working its way back into the 10 exponential on the 5 and also coming into that 423 area, the area that we had tagged as a previous area of support. Now let's see if it actually acts as resistance, having given up that level, and now we'll see if it flips. Support typically flips to resistance. Well, not typically, but does sometimes. So what I'm waiting for here is for it to settle. It's still moving up, and the previous 5-minute candle the previous 5-minute candle from where we're at right now ended up being a hammer candle. So I want to see exactly if this one heads up. I'm also looking at the future. We're still below the volume weighted average price on the future, but we are back in positive territory today on the NQ, up 0.13. NVIDIA coming back up as well. It's also positive. Tesla trying to get into Positiveville as well, above that 221. So I don't want to start, hey, we're rallying and the red's over, but if I'm going to short Microsoft, I need to be acutely aware of what the future and the other Mag 7 names are doing because, well, I don't want to get blown out of the water here. So 423 incoming. We're about 10 pennies away from that right now as we move up into the 90s, and we'll see if this presents us with an area too short possibly. Like ideally, you want to see the future come into a certain area of key resistance before you take the short on Microsoft. But you're not always going to get that set up, obviously. That's the ideal situation. How often does it happen? I'm not sure. So keeping an eye on these names here, knowing full well that this recovery could be more prolonged than just a quick dead cat bounce. And I think we've seen that the last few days where we have started red and then we ended up green on the day, except yesterday, which was one of the very few red days that we've had in the past couple of weeks, Adara.
Congrats to you.
No, not me. But
the market.
Market went red yesterday, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, that's the look there. Keeping an eye on this 423. Here it comes, and the future headed back up there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Crocs, I was looking at here because we have I've talked about this umbrella handle pattern where you get some selling, you get a brief reprieve and sharp reprieve, and just as quickly you slam to the downside. We had that in the 15-minute here for Crocs. But Crocs is under 1 million shares of volume, and I've learned from Lily, you do not trade stocks with under 1 million shares of volume in the day. No sir, no ma'am, no Croc. So, Lily, speaking of you, this is hard because I look at this, and this to me still looks bullish. This is gorgeous. Look at this. And I saw this book at 9:46, and I was like, oh, but Adara, we have that moved out. The SPY at the time was at resistance. Don't try this again. Yeah, 9:46 is still a level. Lily is still along. I am not, obviously, I have no interest in rushing into this. You don't want to chase waterfalls, especially if that waterfall is almost $1,000 and it moves in the way that Lily moves. That being said, every time this book starts to look vaguely bearish, Lily buyers are like, hold our Ozempic, or sorry, Wegovy. Ozempic is Novo. Hold our Wegovy, and they push this thing higher. So I still think this is a great look. Sometimes you could have the right idea and the wrong timing, and that's certainly what happened here. It was 9:46, continuing to push higher. Look at these higher lows. Look at this level. I'm going to stop waxing poetic about this because You know, you don't want to be trading with emotion. You want to be trading, I think, I'm trying to find the right word for it. Intuition, that's the right word. So it's like if you're not trusting your intuition, then that feels bad. And so that's not trading with emotion, that's trading with your plan. And so if you don't trade with your plan, that's not good. And I think that's where the word, you know, regret came from. But I want to talk about this meta because thank you so much to Neil for letting me wax poetic about that briefly before his awesome lesson of the day. But that 530 on meta, I saw that, and that's like do or die. These are the type of trades where you're like, your instinct kicks in. This was your plan. And I have, like, it's not, you know, my version of this sticky notes, I don't publish it. I write it down for myself. It's called tickers to look at. And the only thing I had written down for top plays was meta. 530 support is wild. Can short it into there or look for a long in support. 538 is a good level to watch here as well, given how it paused that level before dropping. So I knew we had that 530. I knew I was ready for that 530. And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's try to take this guy to the upside at that point. Now, that being said, I still think this is like generally going to be a short. And that's why I got out of 531. Interestingly enough, I had the beak order initially set for 531.50, and that actually would have been a good level because we had a massive topping tail candle into that. That being said, if we still can get above 531 with all these topping tail candles, I'm going to short this. I'm going to take out some at 530, and I'm going to wait for Quadunk because yes, we had this bullish bounce off 529.50, but it can't last forever. The overwhelming trend of meta is bearish. If you have any overwhelming trends that you're looking at, you're like, hey, what would Neil do? What does the Fox say? What would Sean say? What do the Bears and Bulls say? Get in that chat. Exclamation point. Join. Space. Dollar sign. Ticker. Let us know what you are looking at because we want to be able to look at the stocks for you. Lily, don't go breaking my heart. No, I'm joking.
Breaky heart.
I was singing a different song too, actually.
But I remember that one.
I was singing the Elton John and Kiki D one. But also my achy breaky heart. But you can't trade with emotion. You can only trade with just intuition. I should have gotten back at Lily 946. That's something to aggressively journal about. But what are you aggressively journaling about right now in your trade?
I don't aggressively journal, but I like the segue. Nonetheless, Adara, I'm all eyes and ears at 423. I've been watching Microsoft here do its thing at 423, keeps accumulating into that level. Look at the candles preceding the 423 touch. They're all hammer candles, bottoming tail. Somebody's buying up a storm here on Softy south of this 423 area, but also someone's either taking profits aggressively or re-entering their shorts at this level because we're not able to break above it. I'm keeping an eye on the future. The future needs to turn around before I get short on Microsoft. I'm not shorting Microsoft while the future is headed up. I just won't do it. I just don't think it's a good idea. Bless you.
Bless you.
What, Neil? Is it in the chat? Okay. Neil thank you very much for that, Neil. All right, here we go. I don't have it. Oh, sorry. Show chat. Got Oak Tree said near deal for majority stake in 2B Riley units halted. R-I-L-Y, Riley is halted. I just need to keep an eye on Microsoft, but here it is. Let's load up R-I-L, sorry?
I can look at it if you want.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, Riley, that's fine. Yeah, so Riley here, halted. Tap for Riley is 778. It's still changing. You can be here 779, 778. Yeah, this Riley, we know, has been embroiled in bad news. It had a very questionable week last week. A lot of stuff going on there. And then what happened was with Riley, basically, was that by the end of the week, Bryant Riley, I guess he's B. Riley, he'd be saying like, hey guys, I will buy the rest of the shares. We're just waiting to figure out what happened there. That was what he said on Friday. Now we have some of the people trying to get involved. We know B. Riley had their really bad preliminary results, then they delayed the reporting of their results. This could be an umbrella handle pattern on Riley on the daily chart. Look at this, down. Now we pop back up here. Big green candle, but actually less volume than we had in some of these earlier candles. Like we had this big old green volume candle on a day that really didn't move that much. So watch out here for Riley. Let's see if there's any other levels of support resistance here. We're kind of, there's a lot of quadunking here. It's a little bit harder to see any levels beyond that 14, which I think would be a skosh ambitious for a stock currently trading at $7.79. But that to me is the last support level that we really had come in here around that like $14, $15 area. That being said, if we stay below the 90 MA in the daily chart, I do think this could be an umbrella pattern on the day, especially with regards to the overall fundamental trends with Riley. Definitely one that is, having some bad news, especially as of late. So RILY, that was the look there.
Yeah, thank you for that, Adair. I just had to make sure that I was doing the right thing over here. So I'm short Softy against 423. We got a bit of a move down on the market. It's not a big move down by any means, shape or dang form. And Softy still zigging and zagging at that 423. 423. I hope I gave it enough room because I don't want to paper hand this trade, okay? I don't want to, I think I got something here. I just don't want to execute it poorly is what I'm trying to say while I explain it poorly. So that's a look. Short softy. Let's see what comes of this. We were wicking into about the 50 exponential on the 5 on the future. Not that I want to place too much reliance upon that, but trying to gauge this market sometimes can be a bit of a tricky game. So printing 87s right now on softy. Looking to wet my beak possibly here at 85s. We'll see what we get, and we will not get upset at Dara. So we'll keep watching that one and hope for the best. Hopium could be a bit of a problem, though. Let's check some other small cap gappers. It looks like my friend Donald John Trump is headed back to the high side here.
Donald John pumping?
Oh, Donald John pumping. I love it. I think you've used that one before.
I definitely have.
Yeah,
Thank you for
they're
laughing.
both good. They're both good. Look, Adara, this one's had absolute respect for the moving averages today on the 5-minute chart exponential. Those are, it's either very much respected the 10, which is the green, or the yellow, which is the 20. It's breached neither, okay? So anything really off one of these, you're gonna have to gauge which one you wanna get into. Obviously, the bigger moves, once we get extended, it looks like away from the 10, then that usually recipe to enter at the 20. You can see the topping tail that goes through 24 there, and then we make our way down into 23.20 to bounce offset 20 moving average. But it does look like Microsoft here is breaking 423 to the north side, so I will get stopped out if this one does break the 20 penny area, as it looks as if there is a bit of a bid now coming into this market. So I'm close to getting stopped out here, and it looks like I will get stopped out of the soft one as this moves up through 423.20, and here it comes. We're going to get stopped out here. Sucks to be me, but that's the way that trading goes. So it's at the 20 exponential on the 5, and there we get stopped out. So that's my first L of the day. We'll take that on the chin, and that's just the way trading goes. So now we have to make a decision. So now 423 was an area that I earmarked as a level of previous support, was looking for it to act as resistance. It doesn't look like it worked out that time. So what do I do with this 423 now? Do I base a long off it, or is there another short possibly at a higher level to be had here? Well, we're still not through the 20 exponential on the 5. Right? We're still zigging and zagging on the 20 exponential, but it does look like this market might retake VWAP. So whiffled and waffled a little bit at 19.8 1/3, but now it's at 19.8 1/2. So we may work our way back into the volume weighted average price, which on my 5-minute chart is sitting at that 19.8 2/3, around that low 6.1 areas. So we'll see what we get there. Microsoft, though, zigging and zagging still. Don't feel too bad about this trade because it is still above my my entry price there at 423. So it's not like it shot up and then came right back down. So a little bit disappointed with that trade, but I think I had the right idea. That 423 was an interesting area. Hey, Davis, now go long. Yes, literally the conversation I was having with myself and with you guys at the same time, because if I'm using 423 as resistance and it clears it, well, then it is a long. Okay, Riley's open, guys. I see this, and it's really moving up here. Shout out to Neil for calling this one out. Big move up here off that halt. Here's the look, Ram, as we shot up into that 7 3/4. I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but now we have an 857 high of day. Let's go, Riley. Come on, you can load. I'm not sure why the chart is acting the way that it is, but we're going to leave that.
Like I would act with Mara sometimes. Same kind of,
yeah, I know.
It's salty with you and Mara.
It is. It's a salty chart there, Dara. I'm not really sure what to make of it. Let's load up RILY on the trading screen. There we go. We have a 905 high of day, and here we go. Zigging and zagging below that $9 area, 61%, 60%. Let me give you the details on this one. $264 million market cap, 11 million shares traded so far, and a 16 million share float. And let me tell you the short float, if any. Riley, whoa, Neil, did you see the short float? 79% of the float is shorted according to Trade Ideas. If you don't believe me, look here. Now, we're not saying that this absolutely has to be accurate, but this one, up to 2 weeks old, 79.04% of the said 16.45 million shares is shorted or used for shorts. So this one could absolutely move. And quite honestly, the way that it's moving right now is very indicative of a short squeeze. So this is not beyond the realm of possibility that that number is accurate. And even if it's not 79%, it's probably still above 50. I mean, this stuff is only 2 weeks old, right? So unless someone really de-risked or what their beak on the short. So we're going to have to figure out how to get in this, because this is all sorts of strong right now. Wow, RILY Adara. I don't think we've had an 80% short float name. I mean, I don't remember personally.
Been a while.
I remember there were names that were over 100% shorted during the pandemic, but it hasn't been. It hasn't been the case in a while. They are scammers, says Stacks. No idea who the company is, and you know, when you're trading price action, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. What's your look over there?
Yeah, I'm in this meta short. I have thoughts about this meta short, and my thoughts are I think it's going to probably force me to leave soon. But what did I like about this? We were below the 90 MA. We were at the 530 area, got involved 530.78 because at the time we weren't even breaking above 531. So I was like, that's very bearish. Okay, yeah, we got to get out now because we pushed a little bit higher here on the Metad 1. So we got out here as we push above that 531.50 area, managed it appropriately. Sorry for the tired trading kicking in here, guys. But I took it with size. I felt good about it. Now rejecting, so thanks, Meta. Love you. But yeah, I should have probably trusted myself in the spread more. Gotten out of that once we started kind of galloping and gathering a bit of a bid at 531. You know what I'm really upset about though, Sharif?
What?
That I did not. And this is upsetting because the reason I didn't do this was ironically to not trade emotion, because I was getting so in my head. I was like, oh, well, Adara, Lily's not even a day trading stock. Like, why are we even trying to trade Lily? And I see this gorgeous hold at my perfect level at 946. And I was like, oh, she looks beautiful. She's a star. She's gorgeous. I didn't get in because I was like, well, it's not a day trading stock. Don't do that. I'm like, Adara, what are you doing, girl? So if I gotten back on this absolutely would have worked. I'm very disappointed in myself because in an attempt to be, quote, whatever I think a better trader is supposed to be, I didn't take this trade that was at my level, that set up beautifully. That is not a vibe. You know, we're all trying to be positive here. So what I will say is that was not a vibe, Adara. Go home, aggressively journal, and be like, why are you so worried about others' opinions that are not your own opinions?
Oh, wow.
If you don't believe in
Love
yourself,
that.
who are you going to believe in? Who's going to believe in you for you, Sharif? Nobody. Like, that was, like, to be fair, I get why I tried the meta short, cool. And if it bounced off 531, I have no qualms going long. But this Lily was my golden goose. That was my golden goose, and it set up gorgeously, and then I got in my head and I didn't take it again. That is, I have a little bit of feels about that, but you can't have feels while trading. In fact, getting in my feels is why I didn't take this Lily long in the first place. So marathon talk over. Get into the chat, vote. Let us know what you're looking at. Exclamation point, join. Space, $, ticker, chat. Yeah, put that ticker in the chat. Maybe it's Gimme, maybe it's Riley, whatever stock you want to look at. Before I hand it back to Sharif, I want to take a look at some semis for some peeps, because we have some, I just wrote short in, wow, Adara, you're bringing.
No, you didn't.
I wrote short, instead of a ticker, I wrote short. Someone needs some coffee, but we're going to talk about some ticker. Like,
Someone has a bias.
Honestly, no, because I'm sad I didn't get my Lily long.
Oh,
so
my bad.
Even
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
I don't even.
Okay.
I am generally bearish, though. You always joke about how I'm a little bit of a perma bear. But we do have NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA here at that level I liked from a couple of days ago, 127.50. Hold support, hold, sloop to the downside. Shout out to, I think someone in the chat there was saying that they really thought NVIDIA is bearish below 128. I don't think that's a bad look at all. 128 super weak. If we can't get to 130, there's certainly, like I was saying to Sharif, I like 127.50. I like 128.50. Those are kind of my two areas I like in NVIDIA if we can't break above. But I don't want to hop in this without looking at the book moves. Right now, we're getting super green here. A little bit of a war between bulls and bears, putting their dukes up at 127.50s. Also, let's shout out AMD. AMD, we've got someone in the chat asking about AMD. Oh, AMD, beautiful little support here, 156.40. That we actually got as low here as 155.20, and AMD's like, I don't care, back to my regular scheduled range. So it continues ranging 156.40, 157.20. Not the cleanest range I've ever seen. There are some wicks above and below, but you got to do it figured happens there. Also, shout out to, that's very kind of you to say there, Vic, yeah, Novak in the chat saying, I believe in you, Lily. I appreciate that. You know what? My Lily level was right. It's in 950. That matters. I have to aggressively journal because, again, like if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have the confidence to put on that trade because you're in your feels or whatever, because you're like, oh, that's not the right type of trade, what does that matter? Ashley Davis is saying in the chat, make your plan and run your plan. That was my plan. I didn't take that, and that is upsetting to me, but I guess not upset because no emotions, but like that is something to reflect on. And yeah, we also have an auction in 22 minutes. How are you doing?
I'm happy. I traded RILY. I took 40 pennies on RILY. We wanted to defend that $8 area. It weaseled from 9 into 8. I got long 8. I got stopped out initially, got right back in, and took 20 pennies on the first entry, 40 pennies on the second entry. It's still whiffling and waffling, doing bull flag things here. That's what it feels like right now. This is a heavily shorted name, guys. I don't think we've seen the end of this move. I got no evidence, obviously, nothing to support that statement other than the fact that it's got a high short float and that others are going to be aware of that if I know about it, and they're going to keep it on the ropes. We talk about how the Katina man keeps things on the ropes. We talk about how Adara keeps things, or these names on the ropes. I want to keep Riley on the ropes, baby, because it's got a high short float and it's defending 8. So let's see what this one does. RILY up 51%. Thank you, Neil, for calling this one out. We love these midday small cap gappers. In case you're wondering what's afoot here with Riley, Neil did drop it in the show chat not that long ago, but in case you missed it, here it is. Oak Tree Neil's deal for B Riley's units. Bloomberg News reports asset manager Oak Tree Capital is in exclusive talks to acquire majority stake in the 2 businesses owned by the investment bank, says Bloomberg. Brendo has his concerns with Bloomberg, and so do I. Oak Tree's discussing buying a stake of 51 to 55% in B Riley's appraisal and valuation services arm and its retail, wholesale, and industrial solutions unit. Again, Bloomberg reporting. This one has got some people either taking aggressive amounts of profit in and around the $0.50 to 2/3, or people are piling on back the shorts. They're getting stopped out, it looks like, maybe in the 6s, maybe in the 7s, or now maybe in the 8s, and they're putting back on the shorts because we're having a whole lot of trouble breaking through this $0.50 on any closing basis. Now, let's have a look here on the 5-minute chart as to what this one looks like with a little bit less noise. Why is this taking so long to load, bro? What is your problem?
Bro, punk, chart.
Yeah, here it is. All right. So here we go. No, it's okay. This is very bull flaggish, Adara. We could still hear, we just broke 8. Zigging and zagging with 8. This is very bull flaggish, and the reason I say that is because I look for these continuation patterns, especially bull flags, which are very conducive to these small cap gappers, right? You get that initial pump up once that news releases, right, and the algos and people spike into it, then you have whiffling and waffling as people take profits, and then more people come into it, which is why you get a continuation through that previous area consolidation, which is the flag part or the pennant part of the sideways move. So I'm all eyes and ears, baby, about this one because I think it does continue. Now, what's my bias? My bias is long, as you can probably tell. When does that bias change? When it breaks through the volume weighted average price on a closing basis. Currently, VWAP is at 7 1/3. We're whiffling and waffling, 5 pennies below $8. For all intents and purposes, we're at $8 generally. Okay. Say that again.
Slowing down now.
The Katina man says it's slowing down, as you can tell. Yeah, and that's the way it is, right? People are going to be getting their shorts back in, taking profits at this level. We know it's 79%, whatever, even if it's not 79 exactly. It's high, all right? Because there's a lot of people getting in on this name who are probably getting stopped out, who want to, exact revenge on this name or whatever the situation is. So we're looking. I changed my bias below 7 1/3. I'm very much in my bias, or I will continue with my bias so long as it remains above that 7 1/3 area. But this one, great move up, and it's got all the right characteristics. That high short flow, the catalyst. What's the float on this again? 16 million shares, so it's not like it's huge or anything like that. So 7 3/4 right now. This one absolutely still in play, Ram. So gonna keep an eye on that. We've got it up on a trading screen. Let's see what Microsoft is doing as well. because we were trying to short this one earlier. So the soft one showed me a little bit of, weakness over here. But as you can see, holding the 10 exponential ever since reclaiming it at around 1225. It's working its way back into the volume weighted average price of Dara. 423.80 is where VWAP is. I want to hear all about it because we've got a lesson that we have to start. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got 80 pennies here in Meta, and I'm actually going to stay in this position. I took out. You guys know I was really pressed at Lily because I was pressed at myself. I was like, a Dara, that is, you liked that idea. Why were you so in your head? Then I was like, believe in yourself. I got out of the Meta short, yada, yada, whatever. Like I said, it pushed up higher. And then I said, if it bounced off 531 and going long, 531.20s were like on the book. I was like, Adara, you're not going to get 531s. You will get 531.21s. They will do something for you. Guess what they did? We're $1 in the money now in the remaining third. I want to add back in. We get back up 531.50, so that was a huge area. That we pushed above that, I was like, okay, we're going to chill. If we get below 531s, that was initially going to be my stop. I was reaching 20 pennies, made 80, so 4-to-1 risk to reward is like crazy. But that's what happens when you have confidence when you believe in yourself. Now with Meta, if we get below that 531.50, I want like zero smoke, and that honestly has nothing to do with P&L. That has everything to do with what Meta's done at 531.50, nice. Which has been, in a word, crazy. I don't think I'm going to get 531.50. If we can get a fill at 531.60, that'd be dope. But I mean, Meta, if you just want to give me like $1 plus in the money, I'm cool with that as well. The next area I'd be interested in not profit taking. Like this will be my do or die area here. If we get above 532.50 and we bounce, I actually want to add here because that was a huge area of rejection before we quadrunked. If we can't get above this area, I'll get out here. I'll be reassessing as I go. I will be keeping you guys posted in the chat. I am pleased as punch with what I did on Meta because nice. Meta is a spread of your name. I trusted myself. I had the confidence. I had the confidence. And the biggest thing that you have to do is look at the balance of the evidence. And if the balance of the evidence says this is the verdict, make sure you take the trade. But yeah, lesson time.
Yeah.
I love this community. I love this chat. And
Great
make sure you vote for your
Dara.
tickers, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I like how you're keeping Meta on the ropes. All right, let's get it, baby. We're talking about moving average, convergence, divergence, MACD for short. We're talking about moving averages all of this week and all of next week. And we're not just talking about the regular moving averages. We're talking about all the derivative indicators that you can get from these moving averages. So today, one of those is moving average, convergence, divergence. Let's start, as we always do, with some of the basics. Oh, that was wrong escape there, but with some of the basics with the topic we're discussing on the day. So MACD, essentially, obviously, it's a technical analysis tool. It measures the relationship here between two exponential moving averages, right? And it's composed of two lines. The first line is the MACD line. The MACD line is calculated essentially by subtracting a longer EMA from a shorter one. We don't need to know the duration or the mathematics behind it. We just need to know how to use it. So the MACD line, two lines on the MACD and signal. The MACD line is calculated by subtracting the longer period EMA from a shorter period EMA. Then the signal line is actually based on the MACD line, and it's a 9-period EMA of the actual MACD line. So derivative use of the same data here, and that's really the point. So this is kind of how it looks like IRL. You've got the MACD line over here depicted in red, and the signal line is depicted in that dotted green. And we're going to talk about how to use it in a second, but you can see here that the lines cross each other. That means certain things. These bars here that you see depicted behind the lines, this is essentially just a histogram, and it's a visual depiction of the distance, the space between the two lines. As the space between the two lines widens or narrows, the histogram will also widen or narrow. And then when the MACD line is above the signal line, you'll see the bars on the top side. When the MACD line is below the signal line, you'll see the bars on the low side. And they get longer as the distance between the two lines gets wider. Okay? Let's talk about the first method of use, though, for the MACD line. I just want to keep my eye on Riley over here, because it's doing things. All right, so 3 methods we're going to talk about today on how to use MACD, like for actual trades. We're going to talk about this one over here, price action, MACD divergence. We're also going to talk about the signal buying tool, the crossover, and then last but not least, we're going to talk about using MACD with RSI. So 3 different trading strategies we're going to talk about today with how to actually use the moving average, convergence, divergence. First and foremost, MACD price action divergence. Divergence occurs essentially when the MACD line or MACD move in opposite directions from the price. there's two types of divergences we want to talk about here, bullish and bearish. The first, bullish. This is when the price makes a new low, the price makes a new low, but the MACD makes a higher low. This indicates to you potential bullish reversal. So clearly we're in usually a downtrend at that point because it's a bullish reversal. Conversely, the bearish divergence here happens when the price makes a new high, but the MACD makes a lower high, and this is indicating to us potential bearish divergence. Let's see what the bullish divergence looks like. Here it is. So we're looking at the price action. That's obviously the Japanese candlesticks. Here's an obvious area trough, and then look at the next trough. Subsequent to it makes a lower low. Did the MACD do the same thing though? No, it didn't. In fact, at the same area where the MACD made that initial trough to coincide with the price action trough, the subsequent trough was a higher low. And so this is what we call bullish divergence. The MACD and the price action not jiving in this case, and we use this not jiving scenario to basically make a prediction that we'll have bullish price action. Conversely, this is what looks like when there's bearish divergence. The price action here, this is an obvious area crest. We drop a little and we come back up and we make a newer high. So two crests here with the second one being higher than its predecessor. Did we get that same price action though on the MACD? Nuh-uh. So in the area where we had the first area price action crest, here's the MACD crest, then look what happens. When the price made a higher high, the MACD made a lower high. This is what we call bearish divergence, and it's indicating to us a potential bearish reversal. So this is, in a nutshell, MACD price action divergence. When they diverge, you should be looking for a leading indicator as to what may be coming. Michael Noss often talks about this, both with MACD and RSI. You can use the price action RSI divergence with MACD in a very similar way that you use with RSI. All right, let's talk about the signal buying tool. So essentially when one MACD line, or when one line, I should say, crosses over another. MACD and signal are the two lines, obviously, on the moving average convergence divergence. So MACD can be used to generate buy and sell signals based on crossovers between the MACD line and the signal line. Let's talk about two of these types. The first one, the bullish crossover. This is when the MACD line crosses above, so from low to high, above the signal line, and it's indicating to you in that instance that a potential bullish trend reversal may be coming. Conversely, the bearish crossover. Again, this is where the MACD line crosses below the signal line. It's indicating to you a potential bearish trend reversal. Here is the look. So we're moving up. Here is the MACD line, is the blue line, and the signal line is the red line. We get the blue crossing the red right over here. And then look what happens in their subsequent price action. We move up. And that was, look what was preceded by. We were moving down, right? So the preceding price action was headed down. That's why we say it's a reversal. Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I didn't realize I was breathing that heavily. I'm all good here.
It's all good. And here's the bearish reversal, okay? So we have the MACD line here depicted in blue with the signal line depicted in yellow. You get the cross down between the MACD and the signal, and look what happens to the price action subsequent. Lower lows, lower highs. So a couple of methods so far, price action divergence and these crossovers all can be used as entries for MACD. Last but not least, we're going to talk about how to use the MACD and the RSI together. What's going on over there, Katina, man? What are you listening to on your new AirPods?
Controversial.
Oh, new Kanye. I like it. I like it. Katina, man, is listening to Kanye. I like Kanye. Well, I like Kanye's music. So let's talk about MACD, RSI entry signals. So we're going to talk about basically two different entry signals here, a bullish entry and a bearish entry. Then we'll talk about some exits. So if you're already in a trade, what to look for if you're already in it. So let's talk about the bullish entry first. This is when the MACD line crosses above the signal line. So we know right away that's a bullish cross. But what does the RSI have to do in this instance? What we're looking for here from the RSI is to come into oversold. So the RSI is moving down into that below 30. So you're looking for a bullish crossover on the MACD, but you're looking at basically a bit of a different look. You're looking for that oversold area on the RSI. So if you get both of those, check and check, it could be a bullish entry. Conversely, The bearish entry, how do we do this one? This is when the MACD line crosses below the signal line, which we know from the previous slide is a bearish entry. But what's the RSI got to do here? The RSI should be getting already into that overbought territory, so a print above 70 on the RSI. You do that, you're looking at getting short possibly on the instrument that you're trading. That is what we call a bearish entry. But if you're already in a trade and you don't know whether to get out, is this the time to sell? Here's what you. Oh, before we do that, here's let me just tell you quick. Here's the depiction of the bullish entry. So in this particular instance, we have the MACD line as blue, signal line as red down here. This light blue is the RSI. What's going on with the market?
Short Riley.
The Katina man is short Riley, by the way. I can't even see Riley because it's not loading up on my chart. Here, oh, it's that VWAP Katina man. Get it. Here we go, baby. The Katina man short. How much did they cost you? $8 for 100?
For 100?
Yeah.
5 cents.
5 cents. Okay, the Katina man. No, thank you. Yeah. The Katina man paid a whole 5 cents. Huh? I love The first bit is free, says. I love it. No, if we can get back to this, though, Ram. So here I have the RSI up here, the MACD down here. Look how the RSI gives you that leading look as to the fact that the winds of change may be coming. So the RSI gets into that overbought territory way before you get that cross on the MACD. So you don't act upon it right away when you see it on the RSI. It should alert you. And then you're looking for confirmation. We always talk about that with TA. You're always looking for confirmation. You never want to rely too much on one indicator. So the RSI should raise your suspicions once it gets into that overbought territory, but you don't act upon it until we get that MACD signal line crossover, and then look what happens over here. We start making lower highs and lower lows. So that's kind of what I want to talk about there, about the bearish entry. Now, let's talk about the exits. So if you're already in a trade and you're bullish, you're long, how do you get out? Let's talk about the bullish exit. In this particular instance, what we want to see is the MACD line cross below the signal line, but at the same time, we want to see the RSI move into 70. So a bit different than what we were looking for previously. So the MACD line in this instance, if you're long and you want to take profits and you're unsure, the MACD line crosses the signal line, which is bearish, and then the RSI moves into that overbought territory above 70. Conversely, if you're bearish, get it, Katina man. If you're already short something and you want to figure out, hey, is this the right time to take profits? Here's the bearish exit strategy. The MACD line crosses above the signal line, so we know that's a little bit bullish. The RSI, though, it's got to move below that 30, so it moves into that 30, that oversold territory, and that is where you look to take some profits. Last but not least, we're going to talk about when the best market conditions is to use the MACD and what some of the data suggests. So first and foremost, trending markets seems to be the best. MACD tends to perform better in markets that are trending as opposed to ranging. So always try to identify trend before using these indicators. But markets with consistent volatility seem to bamboozle the MACD. So the MACD can be less reliable in markets with high volatility or sudden price spikes, but it also seems to perform much better when used on a long-term time frame. While it can be used on shorter time frames because we know technical analysis is mostly fractal, it seems to provide more reliable signals when it's on the daily or when it's on the weekly. And the data... What do you say? I don't know, he's having a good time. Yeah, so I'm happy as long as he's having a good time.
Listening to 5-0, so he's probably pretty pumped up right there. He's listening just like some New York drill.
Hey.
Shout out to Sean there.
Get it, Katina, man.
Shout out to 5-0 for it.
Hey.
Yes, right.
No worries. You okay? All right. Data-driven insights here. So what do some of these studies suggest is the best time to use MACD? Well, Goldner and Wormsley studied this in 2006. Their research analyzed the effect of various technical analysis tools, including MACD, across different market types and different time frames. And they found that MACD actually performed far better, number one, in trending markets. And they suggested that it's most effective when used in conjunction with other indicators, hence why I included the RSI in the lesson. And then there was this Kajavec and Otters White study back in 2004. Their study on TA in the financial markets found that MACD, when combined with volume-based indicators, they said, could improve trading performance, especially in identifying momentum in trending markets. So it's always good to have that data to support your analysis, even though, you know, obviously we always figured that out ourselves. So shout out to the Katina man. He took O'Reilly short, and he's printing up a storm because it broke that 7.5 there. And you can see this one headed to the downside. But that is the lesson of the day, Dara.
Thank you so much, Sharif, for the lesson of the day. We do have, in 2 minutes, an auction. It is the 20-year bond auction. We'll be letting you all know. I am still long Meta for the time being because she's just looking real pretty. We're 60 pennies in the money on Meta. I want to clarify what I did here because I said I'd add it 531.50s. We didn't even get to 531.50s, guys. We got to 531.60s. So I added. And I was still going to risk it to 531.50s. Every time Meta looks slightly slicey and dicey and pricey, then Meta's like, oh, never mind, Adara. Just stay with me. Breathe with me. I am not adding in at levels that don't make sense. I also wish I was Sean rocking out to some music right now. Oh, shout out to 5EO. 5EO? Okay, speaking of spicy, that song was 5EO and Nas, and there's someone else in that too. Spicy? That's a good song. Oh, these markets got spicy here too. As we were that auction in 1 minute. Meta, oh my God, Meta, do you want to go $1 in the money again here? I'd be pleased as punch with this. Really happy I stuck with this stock because, you know, you could have days where things don't work out. You have a trade, doesn't go your way. It could feel like Coldplay song fix you. You try your best, you don't succeed, all that stuff. But then you just have to keep on going because the market does not care about your feelings. You can't have any when you're trading. This spread's getting really tight on Meta. We come and bounce off 532.50s. The 532 area, I'm definitely going to be adding here because that is a level that we struggled to get above. It was also a level of chop and churn over here, so I definitely want to be cautious, but I definitely am interested in adding if it proves to stay bullish here. Right now, look at Amazon. Okay, Amazon pushing up here. Joanna Brewster was asking about Tesla, so we can definitely pull up Tesla. Tesla 221, that was a level that did something for me yesterday. I did talk extensively about that 221 level. Like all puns aside, Tesla 221 was really... Tesla. Okay, I see you, Tesla. So Tesla here was gorgeously above VWAP. I like this level here just above VWAP here, that 221.60s. That was certainly a level we found some support earlier. I want to see what Tesla does from there. It is 1 p.m. So do we have... No, we don't have the meeting minutes yet. I mean, not the minutes, sorry. The minutes are coming at 2. What we're waiting for is the auction, which we also don't have. Let's see if there's a reauction. You don't always get a reauction in these markets, but it looks bullish. At least Tesla's bullish. You're trying to push to 222s. I just closed my chart for some reason, so let's see what happens here. Yes, because I know I do talk a little bit quickly, but these markets move so quickly, you got to be able to keep up with them, their markets. So please just punch with that. Trying to find my chart. Where are you at, chart? So as we look at the chart, how is Meta doing? Okay, Meta is trying to push back above that 532.50s, looking a little topping tail-esque, which is not like something I love here, but we'll see what we get here on Meta. And we will not, in fact, get upset. Found my Tesla chart. Great look. Okay, so we push up higher, then we come right back to slam that area of support I said here that I found interesting on Tesla, right above VWAP. What is the auction? We're waiting here on this reauction. ASAP Ferg and Spicy too. Thank you, Pillsbury. I knew I was forgetting a rapper that was in Spicy. Shout out to Pillsbury, definitely a Nas fan there. If you know Spicy, these markets getting spicy as well. So let's see what we got here. Okay, a little, I don't want to say a whole lot of red, shout out to Playboy Cardi, but a little bit of red coming in here for this Meta. I don't want to call it Retta quite yet, especially because I'm long. We're still 60 pennies in the money here. Like I said, I definitely want to add, depending on what we do here at 532s, but I'd rather see what this reauction does before I do anything, and that's why I didn't add. I was tempted to add here below 532s. I was like, Adara, no reauction, no adding yet. Also, Chris Sabin, we will be getting those minutes at 2 p.m. So in 60 more minutes, we'll be getting the Fed meeting minutes from July. And if there's any tickers you want to look at while we wait for those Fed meeting minutes, please get into the chat and let us know. Exclamation point, join, space, $, the ticker of your choice. And guys, I really pushed for this yesterday. It seems to have been well received. I know some people are like, oh, but it's always the same tickers that we already look at. But that's what's great about voting is you guys can make us look at different tickers. So if there's any tickers you like that are not Make 7 names, maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe you're like, hey, what did Smicky do today? SPCE, by the way, almost at 630. Shout out to you. Darius Golden had a great long case on that. I didn't get involved because I didn't have levels on that I felt really good about there, but shout out to you, Darius Golden. Bless you, Ramin. Maybe you want to hear about Crocs and their Sydney Sweeney story. Shout out to Sydney Sweeney. Maybe the market is having you feel like you've never, ever been happier. So get in that. Shout out to you for if anyone knows that it's a Sydney Sweeney reference there. But anyone get in that chat, let us know. Bless you, Ramin.
Keep it down, Ram.
4.16%, by the way, for that 2-year bond auction high yield. Lower than the expected so lower than the previous 4.46. So actual 4.16, previous 4.46. We just did the lesson, so we're going to wait a little bit to do that lesson again here. But just so you guys know, I am still looking at Meta. My stop continues to be 531.50s, though if I do add here above 532s, I will be raising my stop. It'll probably be around that 532 level, but I want to wait and see what happens. I don't think Meta's over yet, but the fact that we keep projecting that 532.50 could get interesting. I'm going to give it one last test. If it pushes above 532.50, cool. We stay, we vibe, we chill. If we add, actually, if we bounce, if we can't get above that 532.50 one more time, I will take my 90 cents in Meta and I'll go on a little run. How are you doing here, Sharif?
I'm trying to weasel into Donald John Trump, but it's just too dang strong. It's on the way. Pardon me?
She's saying, watch your words. You said, I'm trying to, yeah, it's funny. It's just funny. I laughed.
Get it together there, Ram. 24.30 is where it's at right now. 24.29 is the ask. 27 on the bid. I'm sitting here at around 15, 16s. It's not going to come into that. It's just too dang strong. Up and to the right it goes, and you can gauge the strength of the momentum based upon the angle of the trend line. So if I was to draw the angle of the trend line here, it is awfully indicated. What's going on over there, Katina? He's $1 in the money on AMZN. The market looks like it's headed back into 19.9. Amazon's back into 180. It's now positive on the day, 2/3%. In fact, it stayed positive. What am I saying? There's that white line right there that it absolutely defended. 179er was the closing print on AMZN on the day yesterday. It was a little bit below that, 178.88, and now it has weaseled its way right back above the whole dollar at about 180. So we'll see if that continuity can get going. You're seeing it on a lot of these Mag 7 stocks right now. And Rivian Millionaire wanted me to show you this. You wanted me to show you the NQ chart, which is the top right of your corner, and the NVIDIA chart, which is the bottom right in the corner over here. A lot of overlap, Rivian Millionaire. The only thing I'd say that the only real difference is how much we popped up there at 1040 versus how much we popped up there at 1040 on the future. A little bit more subdued, I feel like, on NVIDIA, probably because it kept below 130, because that's a key area of resistance. But yeah, definitely feel there's a lot of overlap today between NVIDIA and the NQ September contract. So yeah, good call by you. I'm still looking for entry on Donald John Trump, but I'm gonna try to base my entry off the 10 or the 20. It's just too strong right now. It's not really coming into my area. I sat there waiting at 15s forever. This trade is no longer valid, putting it at 15s, because if it comes back down there, it's a different trade. So yeah, DJT's going, baby. 13 2/3 to the high side right now. Great look for it on the day. Whoever's taken this initially, well, you did really well. I took one trade on it, positive on part of it, negative on the other as it did break down. So we'll look to exact some more revenge on DJT if it continues to head up. But my next entry will be either a 24 test. I need it to come back down to test 24. We have an obvious area resistance over here at 1150 at 24 bucks. We got into there again at 1230, rejected, got into there again at 1245, rejected, then finally took it and then came back and used it. So I want to see if we use it again. $24, I'll get in. Initially I had it 24.16, that's no longer valid. That was based on where the 10 EMA was at the time. Now we're going to look for areas of technical resistance and support on Donald John Trump, up 13 3/4. Elon saying Barron's just released a news pre-market saying DJT could fall more. What the hell? Yeah, you're not wrong, Elon. I think, well, I'm just assuming that that's why it's up 13 3/4%, because it got to all-time post-SPAC lows this morning. So that's what the news articles were about. I saw the same thing you were seeing, and it wasn't just Barron's. It was a whole bunch of people releasing that, basically all-time, CNBC, thank you. All-time lows for DJT, obviously not DWAC, DJT, they're not the same after the D-SPAC. So Donald John Trump looking to take that 24.50. It looks like there's some selling here, there is some sellers at 24.44. It's about 160 lots, not too much. GovX is still in play. Neon is still in play. VRAX, they're all still in play, guys. Even Riley's back above VWAP. Is it seriously? Katina, man, did you get out of that? What's the sitch? He's still holding on to a little bit. He's holding on to 40%, so the Katina man's holding on to that one. Let's pull. Hodling, baby, says there. Dang it, DJT still going. So great look right now on RILY. Adara was printing up a storm. Adara, I want to hear all about it.
Yeah, so Meta, I did add it 532.50s at the time. We pushed above that beautifully. Then we get that weakness in the Qs, obviously, and Meta also felt that. I now, like 20-ish cents out of the money. The reason I'm still in this, though, I said I'd see what we do at 532s. 532s in the book are making me bite my nails because every time I think this thing's going to break, we start getting more bullish on the book. I got the 532 evens on the bid. I was ready to get that trigger finger ready. But you know, as Drake says, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. Because before I can press, Meta's like, oh, wait, you think I'm bearish now? We're trying to push up higher here on the bid. I am not leaving Meta here yet. Like I said, I'm going to give this one last try here at the 532.50. I already gave it one last try, but I added there because it was strong at the time. We had to move down in the market, but Meta cannot break below 532, so I cannot get out of it here. If I saw stuff that scared me more in the book, I honestly would be leaving. But the way that we recovered that 532 in the bid is just beautiful. It's immaculate. It's a work of art. It's a masterpiece. It's, I don't know. It's a platform. It's a Meta platform for more opportunity. I always think, I told you, I always thought it was funny too that you call it the Zuck train because it's Meta platform, right? Choo-choo. But yeah, so confident here for the time being, flat on it on the bid here. So you got to do what you got to do. Like I said, I was a little bit about Lily. And again, why I was upset about that is because I had that level and I did not take it because I did not have enough confidence because I was like, oh, but it's not a day trade stock. I guess it just got a little bit like, you know, Charlie Brown, It's like it didn't stop you before. You like those levels. Why are you not doing it, right? So all that jazz, things to aggressively journal about. But NVIDIA here, some people were saying, oh, breakout happening in NVIDIA. Like I said, I don't really think NVIDIA is interesting to me as a long, and I don't mean like to me, I mean period, and I'm not trying to like whatever, people have different levels, right? Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying here, but 128.40, I do know what I'm saying. NVIDIA 128.40, if you can't break that, to me, it is still a short. That being said, higher lows, I think that's a good look, and I don't want to rain on anybody's little parade here. I hope everybody prints. We always hope everybody prints here in this chat. And the other thing you could argue is this is an inverse umbrella handle. I talked a lot about these umbrella handle patterns. When you're in a thing, you got a sharp candle quadunk, and then we recover. That being said, NVIDIA 128.40 was huge resistance yesterday on the 5-minute, and I'll show you what. Look at this NVIDIA 128.40 double top, and look where we rejected today. We can't even get back to 128.40, nice right? Trade. So again, I do not want to like be sad about anybody here. If you like NVIDIA, I obviously want everybody to print here. I'm just saying in my opinion, and not even just my opinion, in the chart's opinion, NVIDIA is really weak until we can get above 128.40. I know we're up on the day, but that's a huge resistance level, and it's been a resistance level for a few levels. So I just want to be really honest with you about that. Meta, Meta's getting really interesting to me here because we are holding 532 on the bid, climbing higher on the ask. I want to see what happens here. I would love to see the ask get a little bit of a, you know, to the upside here. Do your thing, Meta, please. No, I'm joking. We're not have hopium. We just have realism. If my level's 532, I'm not getting out until we get below 532. No ifs, ands, or zucks about it. 111, make a wish. We're going to wait for a little bit to do that last year. I'm going to let to see Meta resolve itself here because I have a feeling Meta will probably be giving me the boot off the train, kicking me off the Meta platform.
New dude to boot it.
Soon here. New dude to boot it. We'll see what's happened over here. 40% gain, let's go, says Rivian Millionaire. Out of Riley. I got to give you big props for that. That one going to the gates of the downside. Mwahahaha. Sean's in the Dollar Club. I hope to join in the Dollar Club soon here on Meta. We'll see what happens there. But you got to do what you got to do.
He's in the Dollar Club on an 8. Sorry, Katina, man. It's a $7 name.
Oh.
Wow. Get it together there, Katina, man. Big. He just wet his beak on some profits at around $7. You're still holding about half to a third? 20% he's holding right now as it heads down whiffles and waffles at set 7 level. Keep your eye on RILY, high short float. According to Trade Ideas, it's 79% and change. Looks like it may be a little bit higher here as there's more people shorting this bad boy off that $9 HOD. I should mention to you that the volume weighted average price around 760, 750, so it's well below that level now. All right, I'm long the future at these levels. We'll give this one the old community college try. I'd like this break through the volume weighted average price, makes an area crest. I'll give this one a couple of we'll give this about 15, 20 pennies worth of room and looking for another move up here on the future. We'll basically give this one a little bit of space. This one right here, Ram. This 740, or where am I? 744. So the break of this area crest or area consolidation low is the end of my trade, and also really needs to hold on to the volume weighted average price at these levels. So we, on the NQ September contract, we move into 19,833. We're dipping down now into 19,860. That's where the VWAP is. If it doesn't hold up at VWAP, my trade isn't right, and I'm not going to get upset about what they're just going to get out. So what I'm seeing right now is some greenage come in on some, greenage on these Mag 7 names. I'm seeing Meta curl up here. Shout out to Adara. This is curling up, looking to go 533. Oh. It's got a bunch of interactions at 533 today. I think you have your Twitter there. Yeah, fantastic. I think that's a fantastic look. Microsoft also looking like it wants to weasel its way into 424. We were talking about this one all the way down here at 423 is an area of support. Tesla is reawakening here, and it looks like it's headed to the upside. So we had a nice double bottom at 219.5, 219.25. Now we're talking about 222.50. We still have some resistance, though, with which to contend. We have these closing prices here, or prints, I should say, at 22.80, and then we have the wicks at 223.25, excuse me, there. So Tesla getting a nice little bounce there midday off the lows. NVIDIA also above 128 and above VWAP. I feel like Apple is absolute dead weight on the day, so living up to its little nickname there that we have for it on the show, the dead one. It has not been able to take over that 226.5, which is where the basically the line between break even and red on the day is. So we'll see if this one can go. It looks like it's headed back down now, still putting in higher lows. So yeah, that's the look there. Let's look at the Donald John Trump, because I have a dip trade set up at 24, and this thing is just going, bro. You just got to punch in at highs. There's no retracements here. It's giving you 1 or 2 minute pullbacks, Adara. Maybe we'll get a bit of a deeper one, but 24 seems like a decent level if we get a bit more retracey, if I could call it that. If we come in to test 24, I think that this is a good entry. So we'll wait and see what's going on over there.
That's Sherway Garden.
Oh my gosh.
Say that again, can you hear me? Oh, really? Beautiful. And yeah, true to form, they have it around the tape. Here, show this, Ram. Open. Marissa is going to take down the fence, open the doors, and sit in the Cybertruck, something I couldn't do. And it seems some people at Sherway Gardens can't do either. She's not going to do that, eh?
I meant the plastic as.
Oh, credit card. She's going to drop the plastic. She's going to put a Cybertruck reservation. I like it. I don't even think they're reserving them anymore, Katina. I think they have an excess amount. By the way, they quietly removed the prohibition from the resale clause on the Cybertrucks. Yeah, because, well, I mean, the price is coming down now. There's this TikToker called George Saliba. I follow him because he sells used cars, and he's interesting to follow. So he gets all these Cybertrucks coming in, and he's like always buying and sell all the time. He's like, I don't even want any more Cybertrucks, bro. It's just a supply and demand type thing. Y'all, you're getting your Cybertrucks, you're paying whatever, $2,000 to skip the line. You're coming to sell it to me, and I don't want them. So yeah, so it does seem like might be a demand issue here for the Cybertruck. Maybe they'll let me sit inside it finally here, Derek, because right now I still can't.
You know, the only supply and demand issue is that Sharif demands to sit in the Cybertruck. Oh.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Yeah,
the only supply and demand issue is that Sharif demands to sit in the Cybertruck, and one needs to be supplied to him.
Well, Adara, I'm not asking for a free Cybertruck.
No, I'm not even sit in one.
Yeah, I'm not even asking to take it on a test drive.
You're not.
I'd like to sit
You're really asking for very little.
I'm asking for very little, Adara. And look, I love Elon. I'm an Elon fanboy. I'm just going to throw that out there, okay? But, you know, this whole, like, hyping this up thing, all right, bro, maybe in the fall, like when it originally came out.
Yeah.
But the Cybertruck's been done to death now. Let people in it. Let me see the dang truck.
Open the door.
Oh, he'll be on Friday. Oh, maybe he'll be
Oh yeah, Mr. Powell opening the door. That was a good transition.
Yeah,
That's usually my
shut the
transition.
door. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Glenn Smith, they only stopped taking orders for the rear-wheel drive, not only model. No, that's not what I'm talking about, Glenn. I know they're still taking orders, obviously. It goes without saying they're taking orders. I know they discontinued the rear-wheel drive model because there was very little demand for it. Also, it helps streamline production, right? If you're not having to make all these models, it's a bit cheaper for you on the production line. What I'm talking about is they removed the resale clause. That's what I meant there. Chef Joe, you want to ride? I need to come to Canada. LOL. You have one, Chef Joe?
I know. I thought he was on the wait list. I know he's on the wait list. I think that
maybe he got it.
Maybe he got it.
Shout out to you, Chef Joe. I'm jealous. Goes without saying. Jealous there. Shout out to you. I hope you have a lot of fun with that Cybertruck. It's got a hell of a truck, man. Ron Swanson, Sharif, you can have my Cybertruck reservation. Can take delivery now, dude. There's people selling their Cybertruck reservation online, and you got to see. You know how Facebook Marketplace shows you the price adjustment. So if you originally listed it at like $5,000, and then you drop the price, like the market's dropping now, so I might get stopped out of my futures long here. But you know how when you drop the price on the Facebook Marketplace, it shows you what the original price was relative to what you've dropped it to. So you should see some of these listings, man. They had it listed from like 6 and 7 months ago. They couldn't push it. They had it like $5,000. Now they're trying to get a couple of $100 for it. So yeah, it's funny how that works, huh? So that's the look there. Josh says, how's that depreciation? Yeah, I know that. I've been hearing a lot about that as well. That's the other thing that George Saliba guy was talking about. So, hey, Apple's on the way down. It's going to break 226. The future is whiffling. It's waffling. Things are mostly either, flat or on the way up right now, except Apple. And I think Apple has single-handedly pushed this market down. Apple and NVIDIA, actually, because they're both putting in red candles. This might stop me out here of this trade, Adara. What's your look?
I got out of Meta a little more than 50 cents in the money. I want to talk about that. I know I was waiting for 533, and then I said, Adara, be realistic about the book. As the future was pushing lower, I was about to hit the panic button and get it, because that 532.50, for me, you guys know how much I liked that as like a support resistance gauge, right? So once we broke above that, I was chilling, I was vibing, I was trying to get 533 filled, and then it was like, I don't have to do that though. I was like, okay, Meta, fine. So I was trying to get 2/3 the position of 533, holding the rest for the dream. Meta was like, no. I was like, cool, Meta, I respect that. Then we get down to 532.50s, and we hold it on the bid beautifully. And I'm like, Adara, the way you're reading this book, this thing's got more room. So I tried another 532. We make lower high there. We can't even get to 533 that time. We get to like 532.80s. I said, Adara, get the rest out here, 532.75s. Based on what you're seeing in the book, that is very realistic. It might go higher, but you're not comfortable with it. And the book is, as Sharif said, futures are whiffling and waffling.
Oh, yeah.
Book was whiffling and waffling on Meta. If you're whiffling and waffling at tickers, like, hey, what would I do with them? Well, there's a way, no advice, but reads on the market.
Oh, yeah.
Get in that chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you like. Maybe it is Meta, maybe it's AMC, maybe it's GME, maybe it's Snowflake out of earnings. I'll look at that one after for you guys. Maybe it's Zoom out of earnings. Maybe it's any of these names there. By the way, you can check out Neil and I. We're going to do a Q&A with NNA, perhaps, because there's no Chris Betcher tonight.
I
so
like
Neil and Adara, Q&A, mayhaps, perchance. Also, now Meta breaking up to 533s. I have no regrettas in Meta.
I love it.
And I also want to talk about one name here. Sharif, it's been an uptrend still, that it would have been $7 in the money in?
Who?
Eli Lilly.
Oh.
I got to be honest.
I think you had the right idea. Absolutely right idea.
Thank you. I did have the right idea. And the reason I didn't get in was because I was like, I literally just got so in my head. And there's no reason to. It's set up perfectly. I had no reason not to get in. I watched it in the book as it got in. That is, Adara, these are the type of trades you like trading. If you have that look and you believe in it, next time. But it motivated me to get that Meta. So I literally just excited to aggressively journal. Speaking of those big spready names I like, we got SPCE here below the 9 EMA. If SPCE gets into that 620s, I'm looking at it kind of here. We fell pretty violently. We've been selling off for the past few 5-minute candles. Eyes on that. I know a lot of people, though, do want us to talk about NVIDIA. my case on NVIDIA remains the same. We cannot get above 28.40 and we're making lower highs. The last time I saw this, we were actually making higher lows. That ended. NVIDIA 127.50 is a level I like, and I think that's pretty evident on the chart. If, depending on what we do here, that could be an interesting level, but I do not think NVIDIA is along till we get off the schneid at 128.40s. That was a double top yesterday. Before we get into the lesson, I see you are in two longs, and I want to hear about your bite of the apple and your TQs.
So 226 defend on Apple. We're going to give this one very little room. It's because we're holding up at VWAP on the future. So I was thinking if we come into the whole dollar level and the future continues to head up, Apple defends. We're going to try this. That's the way it is. The other trade that I'm in, long the future, because we've been waffling at the volume weighted average price. I see Meta moving up. I see Softy moving up. I see Amazon moving up. I see Tesla moving up. Google and Apple are doing nothing. NVIDIA, right? So I'm thinking, all right, well, if that's the case here, then we want to get involved. So that's what we're going to do, and we're already involved. So going to put my beak wetter right in front of that $0.50 area, 71.5, and we'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. Also holding on to this Apple, looking for a 226 defend. I'm trying to give it enough room here so I don't paper hand the trade and get stopped out when I have the right idea, if I have the right idea. So we'll see exactly what we get there. Knowing full well that it's been kind of a whiffly waffly kind of day. I don't really want to take breakout trades. I'm trying to take key areas of support and resistance, but you may not be able to always get that. So keeping my eye on Nike, on Apple, and keeping my eye on the future with, this market indecisive at the moment.
Yeah, Meta's still pushing higher here. Wow, like I said, I understand why I got out of the long where I did. I might get back into paying what we do here because this looks like it could be a little inverse head and shouldery. But if you want to learn about things like what on market, lesson time, we'll pretend that was a great transition. We're going to talk about understanding the MACD.
Got it.
So MACD, you're moving average, convergence, divergence. That's going to be a technical analysis indicator. It looks at, the relationship. It's like a rom-com between these two exponential moving averages, right? The EMAs. So you've got two lines here. The MACD line, which is calculated by subtracting a longer period EMA from a shorter period EMA. And the signal line, which is a 9-period EMA of the MACD line. As someone who likes 9-period EMAs, I find it very cool that they're naturally part of the MACD analysis. So here's your MACD. You've got your histogram here, which shows kind of the movement. And then you've got your red MACD line, which is, again, longer period EMA subtracted from shorter period EMA. And your signal line, your 9-period EMA of your MACD line. Now, MACD and price action divergence occurs when you've got the MACD line moving in the opposite direction of the price. The price creeping up, MACD creeping down. Bullish divergence when you have the price making a new low, well, the MACD line makes a higher low, potential bullish reversal. Potential bearish reversal here, or bearish divergence, occurs when you have the MACD line making a lower high. So here's one example here of bullish divergence. You've got the price making a distinctive lower low here, really clear. And as it does, you've got a distinctive higher low on the MACD. And look what we do. We pop higher on the price. Now, bearish divergence too. Look at this higher low we've got here on this distinctive higher low on the bearish divergence. Higher highs, higher lows here. Look at this on the price. But then on the MACD, we have a lower high. And look what the price does. Follows the MACD and it pushes lower. Now, signal buying tool is one way that you can use the MACD. You can use it to generate buy and sell signals based on crossovers between the MACD line and the signal line. So a bullish crossover happens when you've got the MACD line crossing above the signal line, indicating a potential bullish trend reversal. The bearish crossover, meanwhile, occurs when you have the MACD line crossing below the signal line, which shows that you've got maybe a trend to the downside. Here's a bullish crossover. You've got your price increasing, steady price increase. And look when that started. When you had the bullish MACD crossover here, the MACD line crossing above the signal, flip to the upside. Now look at the bearish. You've got this kind of high area here. We're trying to push higher here. But then you have the MACD line slamming above that signal line, swoop to the downside for the market. MACD and RSI can be used as entry signals as well when they're used in combination. You know what we love on this show? Confluence. And you can get that with these here markets. So bullish entry here, if you're looking for a MACD and RSI used in tandem as a couple there, we're seeing MACD. So a bullish entry could be, for example, if you got the MACD line crossing above the signal line and the RSI is oversold. That's two signals that we could be going boop, 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 to the upside in your stock. Now, what if you're looking for a bearish signal, okay? Let's say you've got the MACD line crossing below the signal line. We know is bearish. But you know what else is bearish?
What?
Overbought RSI, though not always. Not always.
Very true.
So if you have those two together, and you have other things you're looking for confluence, shout out to someone behind us there, perhaps, then you've got your look. So look, first, in this example here, thank you, Sharif, for putting together these lists, putting all these little charts up here. Look at your RSI Pampit. Bearish entry, right? You've got the RSI giving a bit of a reversal signal. We push into oversold, right? But the market's still pushing higher. But you know what's not?
What?
The bearish, the MACD. The MACD pushes lower. The RSI pushes lower. You know what pushes else lower?
What?
Stock.
True.
Bearish. Let's talk about exit signals. MACD, RSI exit signals here. So bullish exits when you got the MACD line crossing below the signal line and the RSI moving above 70. That could be a sign we might get overbought and you might want to get out of Dodge in your long.
Ah.
You know what else though? Bearish exits. So one bearish exit might be if you got a MACD line crossing above the signal line and an RSI moving below 30. That could be a sign we're entering oversold territory. We're getting a little bit spicy to the upside. But when is MACD going to be most accurate? Usually in trending markets, right? We talked about usually there's a reversal of the trend or a new trend. You can't see a reversal of a trend or a new trend if we're not trending. That's just science. No, it's not, I'm joking. But trending markets are most accurate for MACD. They're most accurate for the MACD rather than ranging high. Still trending.
Because you kept saying trend a lot. I was gonna have fun a little bit with it.
I didn't mean to spoil her. Trender, are you getting excited with the trending markets? Yes, I am. I don't know. Sorry, Sharif. Consistent volatility here is huge because MACD can be less reliable with high volatility or sudden price spikes. Also, longer term time frames are huge. With the MACD can be used on shorter time frames. It often does provide more reliable signals on daily or weekly charts. But last but not least, data-driven insights. You can definitely see MACD being really clear here in identifying trend reversals. The MACD is mostly successful in predicting trend changes, or it can be anyway, especially when you've got combinations with other technical indicators. Muradoglu and Wormsley had this 2006 study, which showed analyzing the effectiveness of various technical indicators, including the MACD across multiple timeframes. And in that case, they found that MACD performed better in trending markets, suggesting that it is the most effective when used in conjunction with other indicators. There's also a study here from Cavages and Otters-White from 2004. They were studying technical analysis, financial markets, and they found that when MACD combined with volume-based indicators could improve trading and performance, especially when identifying momentum. But guys, you know what's great there? Is that that's just one example. What you really want to see here is confluence in the real world.
Absolutely.
You want to see this happening in real time, and you want to see like continuing an uptrend. But also, if you want to look at any tickers, get in that chat and you vote. Exclamation point, joint space, $sign, whatever tickers are fancy. We want to know what tickers you're looking at. SPCE is a short, says Vicky and Novak. If we break below 620 in a way that I like on the book, I like it as a short, but I don't love that bottoming tail candle on the SPCE as of right now. Also, guys, Rivian Millionaire joking there, I'm glitching. Yeah, like I said, sometimes we get into something I like to call tired brain.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to get some water.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to sip some water. We're going to hear about Sharif's 3 longs here. You're a triple bull.
All right. So I'm trying Donald John Trump at 24. That's the only reason I'm in there, because we talked about how this level was important. So we'll give this one the old community college try and see if we can get printed. I've got the beak wetter at the $0.25. We'll see what we get there. The other one, I'm in the future, and I was really worried about this position because the market was coming down. I was able to de-risk on Apple. I wet my beak there on Apple, but the future was lulling me to sleep, okay? And the reason is because things were really looking like that they were going to curl off the volume-weighted average price, and it really didn't manifest that way. And I kept watching Meta go up. I kept watching Microsoft go up. Amazon as well, breaking through 180. Not so much on Apple, not so much on NVIDIA, and definitely not on goggles on the day, down 1%. But certainly, you know, I expected a little bit more there. So we'll see what we get here with Donald John Trump, and we'll wet our beak right there. Nice. Okay, so we'll see if we can move up a little bit more. Now I want something around the $0.50. Let's sit in the mid-40s. Thank you. So we'll see if we can get something mid-40s here on DJT. 13.5%, knowing full well that the bottom can drop off at any time. That's why I need to have my eyes peeled on this one. Still about 2 or 3 pennies in the money here on the future, doing absolutely nothing except hold on to VWAP. That's really it. That's what's keeping the hopium alive in my veins at this moment. No, I'm just kidding, of course, when I say that, but that's my look. This is the look on Apple. When I got long 226, it was an obvious area defend for the whole dollar level. There's been a lot of interactions with Apple today and 226 as a support level. Doesn't mean that it goes parabolic and prints up a storm at 227.98, which is what the high of the day is. So keeping my eye on all 3, knowing full well that it may not go my way. I'm still waiting on this futures, bro. Give me a move up into freaking 19.9. Let's go, bro. Give me something here. So the future moving up a little bit. I just got some 4.9 prints there on the T triple Qs, but yeah. It's been really hard getting some momentum to the high side today, and right back break even, it comes in. All right, Donald John Trump's nicely in the money here, about 25 pennies in the money as it's printing 35s. I'm waiting at mid-40s. If we can get another little bump up there, then we'll get printed on the last little beak wetter on DJT. Give me more. Give me more.
Give me more.
All right, let's go, Brittany.
Did you do it again?
It's Brittany. All right, nice little trade there on Donald John Trump. Ram. We got out there a little bit below 30s at 39, so happy with that. Very displeased with this futures trade. Gonna pack my patience with this futures trade and with Apple because they certainly are not really giving you a whole lot to be excited about. But those are the trades that I'm in at the moment, and we're gonna go down with the ship. Rivian, dude, Meta is so strong. Absolutely agree with you. I think Adara had that nailed on the head when she charted that 530 support level. Look at that. I mean, guys, that's technical analysis right there.
It was.
Look at that hold up. And now, obviously moving into the volume weighted average price is Meta. Looks like a bit of an inverse head and shoulders. Look for VWAP to kind of possibly be the neckline here. Left shoulder head, right shoulder. It doesn't always work like that, but it was preceded by a downtrend. So that's what you look for a head and shoulders. So obviously a little confirmation bias there, but we shall pack said patience. Nicely in the money on Apple, nothing to write home about. Nicely in the money on the future. We're printing 47s. Give me more, bro. 48s. Let's go up a little bit. I'm waiting. Future. I've been waiting.
He's been waiting.
I've been waiting. All right, so it's not going to give it to me yet, so we're probably going to have to wait a little bit more, Daryl, which is fine. I'd like, ideally, a break into 19.9. I think that's a respectable level to retrace into. You can reject after that. That's fine. There we go. We get the beak wetter on said future. Very happy with this. About 15 pennies in the money on this one now. We've got a bigger position into this one. So we got 2 more outs on the future. So packing my patience. Let's see if we can move up.
Yeah, I'm doing a thing, and I might come to regret this thing, but right now I don't. I got long SPCE here. I know initially it was like, oh, a short in SPCE, and then SPCE did this beautiful bullish candle. Now I'm long SPCE. I'm risking SPCE into 621.50s. That was an area with a little bit of a bounce. So risking about $1 here. Now you might be like $1.50. Sorry. You might be like, Adara, what is your profit taker on this then? How does that make any sense? Well, I loved SPCE yesterday. That high of day was even high of day. I don't know. We'll go to yesterday's chart so I can show you because there is a level I liked, and it was about 625.50. Yes, okay. 625.50 was a level I like because we did have some chop and churn and interaction there around that 626 level. Well, look what we get today on SPCE, okay? Some interaction around that 625, 626 area. Chip chop, chip chop, chip chop, then drip drop to the downside. Now, could this be, to be clear, I looked at the balance of the evidence because initially my trigger finger went short, or I was going to. I didn't actually get short, to be clear. But then I was looking at the book and I was like, you know what, Adara? We have that thing you like that is very bullish, or that you find is very bullish, when the bid to the upside and the ask holds, or the ask also, and then you get to move up. Now, I do find SPCE to be, for my purposes, I think bullish. I know I said I wasn't going to get involved in this unless I had any levels, but I mean, to me, there's there are levels. There's clear support here at that 619, then support again around that, like I said, 621, mid-50s. And also, if I like this, I don't want to not take it because it's an expensive stock. That's what I did with Lilly. I felt crazy good about Lilly and I didn't take it. And I also want to be clear, I want to make sure this is not a revenge trade. I want to make sure I'm not just taking this on a whim or whatever. But honestly, I don't feel like I am. I do like this look. I liked the way the book was cooking. I don't mean it like that. I like the way the book was looking. Now we're trying to reject here of 623s. Maybe the short was the vibe. But as we have, if we have that bounce here of the Qs, because the Qs are trying here, Sharif, in my humble opinion, the Qs are trying to curl back up. I think maybe we had that push down, but if you look at the Qs, I'm not looking at the TQs, I'm looking at the Qs, okay? The Qs are trying to hold support here. They're trying to hold some support. And for your sake and mine, and for the market, I hope we continue to hold that support because I do think there is a little bit of bullishness still. Honestly, if I was trading P&L, I would not have taken this because, I was doing meta, but I want to try this trade. This is something I'm going to have to aggressively journal about because I want to make it, sometimes you never really know. Sometimes like what the vibe of the trade was for after, like why did you take this? I want to do some reflecting again about Eli Lilly related dramas. But meta is still gorgeous here. I tried to get long meta 533s. That was the other thing because you guys know how much I wanted that 533 breakout, right? Once we broke above that level, I knew that was bullish, and I also had a clear level to risk into. 530, 250s couldn't get filled there, and I still like that SPCE. So let's get involved here in SPCE. SPCE might be the place to be. We can't break below 622s. As I said, I am risking here into 621.50s, which I do think makes sense. If you look at all of this chip chop and chip churn at 621.50s. Furthermore, below that, I love that support we have at 619s. Obviously not risking $4 on SPCE. Even for SPCE, that would be a bit of a lot. But I like this push up here. Like I said, I want to see if we get into 626s. Risking like $1.50 to make $3. This is a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which honestly for SPCE is not bad at all. Also, shout out to all the Lilly longs in this chat because there's some people who are like, oh, like we're long Lilly. And I want to shout you out there. I want to congratulate you because this is a great look. I would say be very careful here though. Look at the 5-minute chart. Look at all these topping tail candles. Look where we get the chop and turn earlier. If Lilly can't break 954 soon, I would probably be like, be careful. I would not short it here. Lily's still crazy strong, but and also its spread is actually, go Lilly with that spread. This is the tightest spread I've seen in Lilly in many moons, okay? But I would be very careful with Lilly, given those topping tail candles. That being said, still higher highs, higher lows, and the fact that we got above that 950. We closed at 950 yesterday. 950 was definitely a level of resistance on that daily chart. If it'll let me pull it up, come on, Lilly, let me show you to the world. Look at this 950 resistance on Lilly. The fact we're pushing above that level is crazy. That's why I want to take profit at 950 in that long. So I want to shout out everybody here. The fact that we're already above 950 is great. I think if we break below 950, Lilly might get a little bit dicey here. Lilly. Yeah, but like I said, didn't want to revenge trade that. Hopefully I have not revenge traded SPCE. And I only say hopefully because, I still like the levels to be clear and they're holding up. But I definitely, should have been more confident in the Lilly earlier, but that's how you learn, you grow. And you know how else you learn and grow? You're like, hey, how would Sean and Neil maybe have looked at my ticker? Get in the chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker. Let us know how you feel about that chat, about that stock. And you know how you join our chat?
How?
By liking and subscribing.
Hey.
Well, actually only by subscribing. But if you like to, that would be a great look. Gurkhan saying, if she would drink coffee, then we'd have to slow the speed of the stream. No, I'm joking. I don't really have much caffeine, guys. No. It's all natural energy, though as Sharif knows, that natural energy does tend to dwindle right around the 1 p.m.
Yeah,
to 2
but you're
p.m.
great
area.
today.
And keep pushing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for being here. She speaks like an AI. Says, yeah, there's a lot of talk here about whether or not I'm an AI. We've seen that before, too. The whole is Adara an AI thing. Guys, honestly, the only AI I am is Adara.
She's Adara AI.
Yeah,
Adara AI.
Adara invested. I don't know.
But people in the chat always comment about your intelligence, Adara. So you can't blame them for.
I'm not insulted. I just think it's funny that this is like a repeated thing that we've gotten.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out there, SPCE. Try to get back up here. Okay, I might have been right initially about the SPCE with this short, but I was like, well. We have the TQs pushing higher or the Qs pushing higher. We'll see what we do here at the Qs. Right now, I would love to see a bit of a push up here on this SPCE to continue to have that confidence in this long here. But like I said, not leaving until I see what we do. 621s. At the 50s. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So I just wet my beak again at 55s here on the TQQs. One more out on that. I'm also long target. Just took 25 pennies. Quick as you like that. Look, so Gaurav and I were talking up a storm about 162 being an obvious 162 being an obvious area of resistance on TGT. So I was like, look, man, you know, we obviously rejected. That was the short that I really missed there. That was a missed trade on my part. Look at the amount of wick shimmies we did there with nary a closing print above 162. I don't know why it took me so long to notice this, but Gorev had this one down pat from earlier. Now, when we came back off that level, I said, all right, last time around, we really troughed at 160.50. Do we get a higher low this time? My position was we did. So we defended 160 true to form, being the spready one that target is, which it is right now. It's about 10 penny, 9 penny spread. I didn't get the best price, so I was a little able to get right at that 161 area, and it broke into that $0.25. I was able to wet my beak. But knowing full well it could come against me. Look at that drop, bro. It just dropped 25 pennies like that. That's why you de-risk with these spready names. So what I'm going to be looking for now is to come in to that 160.50 area. We have a bit of a consolidation base at, 161.50. We have a bit of a consolidation base at 161.60. So if that's the case, I want to front run it. I don't want to be part of that resistance zone given the spread on this name. That is obviously predicated upon the fact that it would hold up above 161. So right now I have my stop placed below 160.60 because I had to place it below this area trough. I no longer want it there because the trade, I'll give back too much if I do that. So it's going to move up to 160.80. So we're going to, on the break of 80, 160.80, which it looks like it's going to do now because it is rejecting that 161.25. So I want to pack my patience here. I don't want to paper hand the trade because I still have another out on this one, but 160.80 and I'm gonzino. Let's go back to the future over here, and I don't mean that, I said that by accident. My future's 35, my entry's 35, so now we're into 38s. I don't want to give any of this back. Now I'm going to basically change my out on the T triple Qs to reflect the new area, which is the 30 break. So 71.29, and we're gonzino at that level. So we'll look to defend that level. Let's go back here to TGT, right back above 161 we go. Let's put the beak wetter. We said we put it at the $0.50, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So there it goes. We're gonna put, hi, computer. There it is. That's nice of you, computer. Thank you for putting on my beak wetter.
You're welcome, Sharif.
Yeah. So I put the out there in front of the $0.50. I didn't yet move up, though, Adara, my stop, so we'll have to do that. So we'll go 160 and then 79, and we're gonzino on that bad boy there. So that stops in place come what may. Apple breaking down now on a closing basis below 226. So this has been an area defend all day. It's not like it's an area low. We still have this 225.70 as the local low there, but yeah, Apple working its way down below 226 could spell, you know, a nice little short, especially if 70 gives way. 225.70, I'll be all eyes and ears about that level. Adara, packing my patience with these trades over here. I didn't put my beak wetter yet on the future. That's a mistake. So we're gonna put it in front of the local area top there, which is 71.60. Let me look at the future over here. I need to see what the situation is. Man, we are not looking good. I got to tell you the truth. I should just probably take it out here. Well, we're putting a lower high on the 5 minute, and I don't like that. So we're above VWAP, right, which is good. But look at this. This is the move up, and now we have a lower high. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't know how I feel about this. So I'm gonna pack my patience. I think that's the appropriate thing to do here. Don't paper hand the trade. Put the out. I'm going to put it out at 59. So we'll go ahead and sit there and see what we get back to target. It's distorting the chart over here. Sorry for the wick. I'll adjust that in a second. Back up into the $0.25 we go. Go target. Let's go to the $0.50, baby.
Go target. Get Sharif's target.
Ooh, I like that. So we're looking to wet our beak around the $0.50 Adara printing 20s right now.
Yeah, so I got out of SPCE, and I have thoughts because I don't think I would argue I shouldn't have gotten involved in this because I liked it initially as a short, and then I was like, but the markets are pushing higher. It's got to be long. It's like, then why are you in it? Or just go short, Adara. Like, the biggest issue today was not trusting myself because the stock where I trusted myself, Meta, shockingly, having confidence, that was the most successful trade, right? No, I'm being sarcastic as much as I can do sarcasm. That being said, there is a level on SPCE that again, in addition, like I manage this appropriately, whatever, but we're coming into that 619. Look at 619. Look at that bounce at 619. Look at that wick support at 619. Look at how we don't want to break 619. Sure, if we break 619, RIP SPCE, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? And if I initially felt good about it as a short, why did I take the long? Anyways, but I'm down to short this again. The other stock I'm looking at, though, that continues to push higher. I liked Lilly. Like I said, if Lilly can't break above 653, to me that, or 953, I was like game over. And then the Lilly book was like, oh, Adara, do you want me to get more bullish to make you not short? Cool. And I said, okay, Lilly, good. Appreciate that. I won't go short then. Thanks, Lilly. But yeah, Lilly was getting a little bearish on the book here, breaking below that 953 on the bid and breaking a little lower in the ask. But now we're back above 952 in the ask. The bid here at 953. No, opposite. Bid at 952.30, ask at 953. The fact that we cannot break above the bid at 952.30 still has me go, but not enough to short it. SPCE definitely like, hey, Adara, don't short me. I'm like, okay, cool, SPCE, should have done that earlier. But keeping an eye on this, Crocs. Hello, Crocs. How you doing, Crocs? Crocs here. Wow. Woo. Pushing above. Still not a million shares, so happy I didn't trade this. But Sydney Sweeney and co. I'm sure if you got long this, you're feeling some euphoria now into this move up here. I would like to see what it does, though, at this 140.50. You know, Kendrick Lamar talked about getting shade under a money tree back in like 2012, but you also might want to take some shade under this white lotus to make another Sydney Sweeney reference here. If you were in this long, this 150, I think it's at 140.50 area. If we could break above that, that'd be dope here. But wow, nice little pop up. Not a lot of volume, period, on SPCE, and also not a lot of volume in that move. But good look there. Or not SPCE, sorry, Crocs. Wow. Meta, says Rivian Millionaire. Yeah, wow. Sometimes you get out of stuff early. Meta laughing on my face. That's the thing though too. If I got back in that Lilly, I would not have been able to trade Meta. So, I mean, that's a very small consolation prize. Happy he took that Meta though. Felt really good about that level. And that's what I mean. Like when you have confidence, take the trade. I had massive confidence in this, so happy I took it. But I also had massive confidence in Lilly, and that didn't pay off. But I want to hear what you just shrieked. Did Target you? For your commentator?
I think we just got printed on both. Bang!
Sharif.
On the future. There we go. We just took 35 pennies on the TQQQ's third out there. Just took out the second. Oh, thank you, Patty. Just took out the second one there on Target. We got in 161, took out the other one exactly where I said I want to take it out. 160-150. This is the area why I wanted to take it out because it was a long consolidation zone. I was afraid that we would reject off that area given that we waffled so long between that 160-150 and 162. I'm pleased as dang punch. It's time to clean up my stops so I don't get into a position that I don't want. Been there before, you guys saw it live. So 10 minutes left on the show and you have one more minute to vote, guys. Get into the chat super quick. Exclamation point, join, space, $, and the ticker of your choice. The Big Kahunas will look at the name as selected by you guys, but you should know only the top 5 tickers make it on. See, you got to persuade people in the chat to vote your way. Otherwise, you may not get the Big Kahunas giving you their big boy analysis on the names. And you know, there's other names other than the Mag 7 that we can vote for. I saw you guys talk about Lilly. I saw you guys talk about Upstart in there as well. Very happy today that we were able to kind of get into some of these trades that were moving today. So yeah, vote for, there you go. Why cannot just vote it for PIN? He wants to see what's popping off on PIN. Where else? Come on, get back, get into the chat, guys, and get voting there. Where else? Where we else? We have any more votes up here? Let's see what else people voted for. Join Doge says just in time. He wants to see Doge. We got DJ Marshall. He wants to see the SPY. He wants to see what the Katina man did, what Neil did today, or what they're looking at the SPY. Shout out to Hey Davis. I appreciate you, my man. We got just in time. He voted again for Intel. Just in time. You only get one vote, man. M Sense wants to know about Riley. The Katina man printed up a storm on that short. I took it long. I did well. He took it short. He did well. Do you guys want to see how he traded it? Get into the chat right now. Vote for your tickers. You've got, I think, like no time left. So maybe I should stop talking about it. But that's the move. Did you see your meta?
I did. My meta looks beautiful, and not my meta anymore. But
monster.
Like
you okay,
I
Neil?
said, I wish I could have gotten back in that 533. Wow, that long. To be clear, still really proud of what I did in meta, but look at this look. Also, isn't it great, Sharif, when you have like the right level and the timing is wrong? Shout out to now Mickey trying to break off 233 or this thing, 623. I don't know. I did not back in because it would have felt really revengeful. Like I said, I actually have a lot of journaling to do. And that's all good. I know I'm down on the day because of this SMCI trade. Happy I attempted it, but also I should have definitely been doing some more thinking ahead of time. There might have been some tired trading going involved in there. And also, like I said, a little bit like bummed at myself for not the thing with the Eli Lilly. So that a lot of things for me to reflect on today. That being said, oh, Smicky, don't make me try this again. Look at this, the way this book is building is just beautiful. There was a lot of alliteration with the B, but look at this. Sharif, this is beautiful. We push up higher on the bid. We have the push up in the Qs. Smicky.
What's the spread right now, Dara?
It's like just under $1.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all for Smicky, yeah, right? Lily, though, I was like, I saw this Lily here, and I said, Lily, like I said, I liked how we were trying to push up that 954. It's more bullish than I thought it would be. I wanted to get filled 952, like 10s. So it was like I reset into 951s, and this just looks so gorgeous. And Lily, the way this is bidding up, I have a feeling it'll break out. There's no way I'd be able to get filled. So that is realism for you there. SMCI equals hard mode, says Rivian Millionaire. It does. It does, but if you like a stock, you have to trade it, and that's what I learned from not doing this Lily earlier, and that's why I'm so upset at myself, because I had my levels, it hit my levels, and why did I not take it? Oh, it's not a day trading stock. Well, did that stop you yesterday? No. Did it stop you today? No. Then why didn't you take the breakout move? I mean, the only person whose opinion matters should be your own. My own opinion was Lily looked dope. Why didn't I trade it? That's a thing for the journal to journal about. Peep Sound says Easy Trader. Yeah, let's find out about let's see if we can be a sounding board on Soundhound. Lily still long, says Vicky Novak. Oh no, I agree. That's why I was trying to get long there, Vicky Novak. I fully agree. So shout out to you there with Lily 952. I'll go long, but no. All jokes and weird serenading to stocks aside. Wow, sound. Okay, sound scares me, and I don't mean like scares like stocks shouldn't scare you. It's just the way it moves is very parabolic. I want to shout out to Sharif for being able to trade these volatile stocks, cough, DJT. Awesome, like great day today,
Thank you. Appreciate you, Dara.
You're green like your shirt. But man, this sound here, I like this little chip chop around the 530 pushing higher. Volume 20.5 million shares. So Soundhound, I feel like does crazy volume every day, and we just let it do it. So good look here for Soundhound. Great look there. Shout out to you. I know BBAI was moving. What are you looking at?
GDC. Just before I get up, Adara, GDC just popped up aggressively there. No idea what's going on, but it got into that $4.02 area. That is the top from before. It does breach it. So it did breach 4 here. 402, it's whiffling, it's waffling, it's at 380, Neil. It's actually going finally. GDC. Look, this is a hell of a double top here if we reject off this, man. This could be blood if we reject off this double top. 402, or it goes. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. Or it whiffles and waffles, which I really don't think this one was going to do. 10:40 a.m., we got into that 396. This candle over here printing at 154, goes into 402, so we breach it by 6 pennies. Keep your eye on this one. I'm going to give you the details on it last before I get up here. $36 million market cap, 46.33 million shares traded on the day, 7.8 million share float, and the short float, negligible, 0.5% Adara. So not much to talk about in terms of a short float there, but I will see everyone very soon up at the big screen. For now, kill it, Adara.
Thank you so much, Sharif, for being here. And honestly, he killed it today, so I want to give a huge shout out to Sharif, killing it every day with the lessons and also hitting the trade on the target on target. Donald John pumping that one up, and he had the Qs there, and he was asking them Qs, and they were giving him profit. So good luck there. All bad puns aside, I will really want to shout out Sharif here. So yeah, like I said, I've not been trying to trade P&L, I've been trying to trade progress and learning, which is why I didn't mind taking the SMCI trade, but like I should have had better levels on it. The level I do like, though, that I used as my stop for this trade that we're kind of nearing, that 621.50 to me. That certainly was an area that we had some chip and some chop and some churn. If we keep ranging and breaking down here, I don't mind that as a short. Also, everyone in Lily, I do think you guys are probably going to get your 954 breakout because that book is looking super bullish. It's doing that thing where it ticks up a couple cents at a time on the bid. Then we just ticked up 30 cents on the bid. So great look for all of you guys. shout out. I really do hope everybody prints. That is what I hope here on the market today. I did not. Well, I did, and then some decisions were made there, I guess, for SPCE. But the best part, though, of trading is you can go back tomorrow. You can do it all over again. You can reflect. You can learn. You can adapt, react, readapt, act. Today not being a good day had nothing to do with P&L. Had everything to do with the fact that I didn't take Lily. And not because, oh, that would have been a winning trade. It's because it was a playbook trade. And I didn't take it for reasons I don't understand. So that's what really matters here, is reflecting. Shout out to OP. He talks a lot about the mental aspect. My mental was clearly not there. I got a little bit tilted because I was like, oh, what will the neighbors say about Lily? It's like, well, if you didn't care yesterday, why do you care today? So shout out there. Thank you guys so much for the kind words for the show. I really, really appreciate it. And we're trying to be here, be entertaining every single day. What we do is a little bit different from what the big kahunas do, but we try to give you guys the fire, the spice, the trades on this market. SMCI really do like breaking below this 621.50 here. I have eyes on that. Lily looks like it's poised for a breakup with the bid above 953. Really do wish you all the best in there. EWM, some people were like, hey, we didn't look at EWM. I apologize there. And EWM certainly having a bit of a hustle there in that Russell, up about 1.8%, stronger than both the SPY and the Qs. And look at the wow IWM pushing higher here. Double bottom at 213.10s, higher low here, 213.60s. Then we push above, a little bit of whiffling and waffling at the 214.30. We don't waffle anymore. Pushing above 215's high of day here, looking like we got just below 215.30. So I think that's a great look. Thank you again, Novak. I hope you guys are learning a little something. Honestly, I think, I'm a really new trader, so I really learn from everybody every single day. I learn from all the guys behind you that you don't see. I learn from Sean. I learn from Neil. I learn from Sharif. I learn from Brendan. I learn from the chat every single day, and I also learn from Fabian and Ramin. So I really hope that you guys get a little bit of something just from my perspective. Turns out the book reading on Lily would have been effective. I just didn't play it right, and that's what happens. I like the spice, period, says Traw T. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't like spice in my food. Everybody knows I can't handle spice in food, but man, do I love spice in these markets. When the market gives you the spice, gives you that heat, you got to take advantage. Speaking of spice and heat, were there spicier names today than Meta? I don't know, Sharif. I don't know if there was a spicier name than Meta. 536. 1, 2, 3 attempts to break above that level, and Meta cannot. Pushing lower here. I don't want to get short just to get short here. Like I said, getting back long at 533 would have been pivotal. I was not able to get filled there. Great look. Also, you know what else is coming into some interesting levels, though? NVIDIA. I said NVIDIA to me would not be interesting as a long until and unless it broke above 128.40. Look where we're nudging our little head to. It's what? Not that level. 128.40 on N to the V to the D to the A. Wow, SPCE, you're really testing my patience here with that 621.50. I like that we're below that level now. It could continue to range, given that this was some support and some resistance. But I think it's obvious we can't break above that 623, at least for the time being, in any kind of salient way. Hence why I should have gotten short in the first place and not been like, oh, but the market's green. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, I only trade during the midday. There's a lot of reflecting to be done, a lot of journaling to be done on my part. This was not the vibe, and I don't mean it because I'm down in the day. I mean it because the decisions I made were not playbook and not process, and that's really what matters. That's what I said. Hiding the P&L to focus on the P&L that really matters, your progress and your learning. Can we talk about the FOMC, says Alex Diaz? Yeah, we can. We're going to get it in 1 minute. We're going to get those FOMC meeting minutes for July. We will let you guys know. I will be looking into that for sure here on C to the N to the B to the C to let you guys know what happens there, or everywhere in the news when we get those. But right now, we only have 40 more seconds here in this market. We're going to find out what happens. A little bit of a move down here in these here markets as we get to the FOMC. Let's find out what happens here. We're going to pass it to you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Let's hear what Sharif has to say about the FOMC. Bye, guys.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day.